They go up and call the meetings to order. It's 6:35. So it's up to 11. Roll call. I'm Rita Brown. I'm the supervisor for District 11 and chair of PDAC. And here's you. I'm Rita Brown, chair of PDAC and district supervisor for District 11.
Check this out, but everyone's speaking to the mic.
Frederick Brookhouse.
Yeah, call it close, sir.
Is Frederick Brookhouse.
Good work.
That's better.
They work.
That sounds good. Supervisor, District 16 and vice chair of this committee.
I'm Dave Dirksen, District 15 and committee member.
Julia Robinson, District 5.
Aaron Decker, District 22.
Aaron Carroll, District 23.
Olivia Gergen Yeg. Kendall LeGrand Yeg.
Andy Bitter, Director of Planning and Development.
Joseph Cardinal, Corporation Counsel.
We do have one supervisor who is excused, that's Eric Wells. Andy, if you would let us know when this was noticed.
Yes, so for the agenda item that was published in the Kenosha News as required to class 2 notice, February 24th and March 3rd. Separate notice was performed for the Lake District, and that was accomplished on March 3rd.
So we're going to go ahead, we're going to table the first item.
Yeah, if you'd like to table the first item, even though the application was submitted, it has been modified. And then with some of those changes, it won't make it through the town. And actually, up to date, we're not quite sure if it'll go through the town with their 30-day notice in time for May or June. We don't actually have a meeting in April, but, so this item, we'd like to read the act to be request to be tabled.
Motion to table.
Second.
A motion. And
Second.
Oh, I have a motion from Supervisor Decker and a second from Supervisor Carroll. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstaining? Motion carries unanimously.
Okay, thank you. Then we move to item number 2, which is B&J Nelson Farms, 872 138th Avenue, Kenosha, Wisconsin, 58142 owner. Gene Virgos 18, I might have this wrong, I'm reading on Nico. 004 Burlington Road, Union Grove, Wisconsin, 52182 agent, requesting the rezoning from A1 Agriculture Preservation District, the A1 Agriculture Preservation District, and A2 General Agricultural District on tax parcel number 454 221 163 0202. That'll be helpful. Thank you. In the town of Paris. And so for this item, we do have a map. And so here is the map of the property, and we do have the petitioner sitting by Mike here. So when it's your turn, you can then just state your name and address, and then what the purpose is of the application. But here you can see there is this little sliver right here. That's the area of rezone. And then there is the intent to attach to the property. And so petitioner, if you can just again state your name and address and the reason why, and you have to speak pretty close in so we can hear the mics.
Yes, I'm Gene Berquist, 18004 Burlington Road, Union Grove. Yes, we're final 65 feet by the length of our property. Try to square up our property to eventually put up an outbuilding.
Did anyone else need any further description at all? Everyone does have a packet of what you supplied, so.
Sir, anyone wishing to speak for the petition? Anyone else wishing to speak for the petition? Anyone wishing to speak against the petition? Anyone wishing to speak against the petition? Okay. Okay. Entertain motion to.
Just before, the matter just before the town, the impact and that.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion from Supervisor Decker and a second from Supervisor Robinson. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstained? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you. And just so you know, so your matter will go before the next county board meeting. You do not need to attend. The chair will present the item. And then after it clears the county board, it will go to the county executive for signature. We'll then send a letter to you alerting you that everything has been completed. And then whatever steps you need to take after that, you can then do.
Thank you.
All right, thanks so much. So then we're ready to move on to item number 4, which is the review and possible approval of resolution to approve of the formation of a Rock Lake Management District within Kenosha County pursuant to Wisconsin Statute 33.25. And we will allow for the petitioner to speak and present. And we do have a number of people that have signed in. So one, if you haven't signed in and you want to speak, please come and see me here and we'll have you sign this. The intent is to go in order through this. If it comes to your attorney, you don't want to speak, that is perfectly fine. If you are speaking, please be by a mic or share a mic with someone and speak closely into it so we can hear. The intent of the Lake District is that we hear from citizens regarding the Lake District. Some of you may have opinions in regards to how the Lake District might do things in certain ways. But really for the committee before them here tonight is just to decide if a Lake District should be formed. And so they really want to hear from you as citizens on your views in favor or against for creating a Lake District. Now, with so many people, there may be topics and items that you all may have and want to share, which is great. But for the committee, they really want to hear if it's something different. You can certainly speak and state that you hold the same opinions as what was said, but if you have anything new to share, then it would be great to share that. But otherwise, everyone stating the same things over 20 times really doesn't help, because really the committee's trying to gather information to make a sound decision on creating a Lake District. The other aspect with so many people here tonight to make sure that we can get through everyone, if there'll be a 3-minute time limit for you. So you just want to make sure you get to your point in that time. If it starts running over, I'll just let you know that 3 minutes is up and to get ready to, finish your statements. So with that, hopefully we'll be able to have a real good, clear, concise meeting with the presentations here. And I think with that being said, if there's anything from the committee, the committee's going to want to hear from the petitioner.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate your taking the time to be here, and I just handed out something to most everybody. I think everybody on the committee.
Can we get your name and address?
Yes, my name is David Pope, and I live at 12513 Rock Lake Road, Treeville, Wisconsin. So the title of my presentation opening is "What has happened since our last meeting?" We've had informational meetings with guest speakers fielding questions and speaking about the validity and benefits of Lake Districts. Some of them are here in support tonight. Those that attended were Mark Mordigan, County Board Supervisor, District 21, Jim Purinton, Chair of Silver Lake Management District, Dennis Faber, Village Board Member and Board Member of Camp Center Lake Reclamation District, Craig Helker, Water Resources Biologist, Southern District WDNR, and Daniel Matusek, Specialist Biologist with Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission. He's now completing our 5-year aquatic plant management plan. We had a meeting with members of the community with visuals outlining our plan for the future with a revised map of the proposed district, adding the channel properties as previously discussed with the committee. A spreadsheet with tax examples based on what a temporarily appointed treasurer might propose in a budget during an annual meeting for homeowner approval. We canvassed lakefront owners seeking signatures to our petition, answering questions such as how budgets are formulated and how taxes and line items are controlled by the approving vote of members of the district. In that effort, we were pleased to satisfy the first of the 4 findings that the county board is required to base a decision on, namely Wisconsin statute 33.25. We got signatures from 52% of owners of land within the proposed district, representing 67% of the land area within the proposed district. We needed 51% of either. Finding 2, that the district is necessary. In a recent written response from Sewer Pack's biologist, after a plant survey of 218 points, plants were found at 64 points. It was reported that Eurasian water milfoil was found at 17 points, which is 27% of the plant community, and curly leaf pondweed was found in 11 points, representing an additional 17% of the plant population, totaling 44% of the total population. Cattails are increasingly lining shorelines and engulfing boat docks, and lily pads are reaching out further, but decreasing open water and restricting water flow through the channel to the spillway, making control of the lake level impossible. The existing lake association has neither the funds, equipment, or methods to control this disturbing situation. Finding 3, that the public health, comfort, convenience, necessity, or public welfare will be promoted by the establishment of the district. The public health will be safeguarded by the recommendation from Sewer Pack for water quality testing on an ongoing basis. There is an uncontrollable state of mind concerning young people wading in areas with uneven lake bottoms, which is their inability to extract themselves from the sediment should they step into a hole. Stemming the accumulation of sediment due to natural growth cycles by harvesting is essential. It is never convenient to have to fight the plant density to get propeller-driven watercraft out to open water. People would like to cruise the watercraft uninhibited in the fullest enjoyment of the lake. The public welfare would be supported and protected by the formation of a lake district. They would have the funds to protect against water pollution, runoff from neighboring farms, soil erosion, encroaching nuisance plants, eradicating invasives, and a general loss of property values due to neglect. While seeking to eradicate some, it is important to promote the growth of native plants. Number 4, that the property included in the district will be benefited by the district's establishment. Property values will be preserved and even enhanced due to lakefronts being open for swimming, fishing, and watercraft use. Cattail encroachment will be reduced or eliminated. Lily pad spread will be curtailed to allow for more open water and proper drainage to the spillway, making lake levels manageable in areas that were unnavigable then open to the main lake. These and many other possibilities would be available from funds generated by a membership approved budget. Establishing affordable taxation. The present condition of the lake requires extensive urgent care that the current lake association is unable to provide. A lake district would provide an opportunity for all lakefront owners to have a say in what budget items and amounts are approved that affect their taxation. By far, the most democratic means of government and management. I hope with this petition, we have addressed all the committee's concerns on behalf of the lakefront owners of Rock Lake. And you will agree we have met all the criteria for approval and will kindly see fit to vote yes concerning our district establishment. Respectfully submitted, David Holt. Also a handout is a copy of a letter that I received in favor of a lake district. This is from Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, the people that are doing our aquatic plant management plan. The first paragraph outlines who Sewer Pack is and what they do. Second paragraph is the commission has seen the benefits of the lake district can provide to lakes and their associated communities. Lake districts are special purpose units of government and include public inland lake protection and rehabilitation districts, sanitary districts, special districts, and commissions formed by local governments. The purpose of a district is to maintain, protect, and improve the quality of the lake and its watershed for the mutual good of the members in the lake environment. Lake districts are governmental bodies which, with elected or appointed leaders and annual budgets funded from tax levies or special assessments, which can help facilitate lake management activities and programs. Within a lake district, all property owners share in the cost of management activities undertaken by the district, and residents who live in the district are eligible voters, and all property owners have a vote in the affairs of the district. Both previous and current management plans listed below and developed by the district have recommended formation of a lake district for Rock Lake. We had a plan done by Sewer Pack in 2015, and currently there's one that is being completed. Therefore, the commission fully supports Rock Lake's bid to form a lake district to best restore, protect, and manage the lake in a way that supports and balances the lake's health and recreational use of the lake. Sincerely, this is Thomas Slauson, who is one of the heads of Sewer Pack. With that,
Does the committee have any questions for Mr. Homer? Initially.
Yeah.
And go ahead with public comments.
Okay, so then we're ready for public comments. We have names, some are chosen not to speak. And again, if it's your turn, it's okay if you choose not to speak. And then remember, try to fit the 3 minutes. I'll keep a timer on that and let you know. But the first person signed up to speak is Paul Cruz.
I'm the only one that put my check there. I'm assuming people only want to go first. I'm pulled up list.
The people before you did not check to speak.
Yeah, I know. It's what I wanted to do. They're supposed to. I'll go.
Did anyone sign up on the sheet and not check to speak and you really wanted to? There's maybe about 6 or 7 total. Otherwise, I'll just go with John Gray. Do you want to speak or not?
You know, I didn't sign up to speak.
yeah, take this.
Yeah, just make sure you press the button. It'll turn red like mine is when it's ready to speak.
The silver
On the
button.
right-hand side.
There you go.
I actually didn't sign up to speak, so I'm gonna take your advice. I support everything Dave says. I've been on the lake for 10 years and we try to manage, the aquatic growth successful early on, and it just gets to the point where it's harder and harder to do, in a small group, and I'm fully in support of the Lake District.
What's your name and address for the record, please?
John Grage, 12529 Rock Lake.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you do speak, please again, just state your name for the record and your address, and then with the recording, that'll help keep things organized. So the number 2 on here, again, not to speak, but if you want to, is Carrie K. Not this time, okay. Then Bear Person. No, then Glenn Boyle or Jean Boyle. Okay, then we have Cole Grouse.
My name's Paul Kraus.
Mike,
25, please. Do I have to speak into it?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Sorry.
it was being recorded.
Like I say, my name's Paul Kraus. I live at 25801 121st Street. I'm one of the first houses coming into the Rock Lake subdivision. So I'm on the chair. And having looked at this document, I think I want to talk about. My first is actually my interactions with the petitioners that walked around. Two very nice ladies came to my house, late last summer, really last fall, to talk to me about, this process. And, again, I'd seen the signs of the subdivision about, one way, but more so against the development of this, lake district. But, that kind of led me online to look around and see what, for pique my interest, look around and see what it's actually about. I mean, there's a lot that can be done with this, there's other ways to do this, they're concentrating on just lakefront properties, which is fine. Again, the lake does need some sort of management. And so I'm not disagreeing with that in general. But I would like to state that my interaction and the petition itself was very nonchalant. It did not have the information that I feel was being presented to the board as in budgets and stuff, because I asked about numbers. And I mean, I was already kind of informed, because I've gone online, and looked already to see the different ways we do this. And, I also had a feeling that they weren't making it known that if you put your name on the petition itself, there was a binding signature. Generally, I mean, there was, you know, when you're at a place like night, you have your family, whatever you're doing, and somebody shows up at the door, you want to talk to them, and it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, and they're just trying to get information or whatever, sure, I'll sign it, not a big deal. But my understanding after I took the piece of paper and I looked more into the information that they were trying to present was, it was a binding signature. I don't know how many people signed this, not knowing that it was a binding signature. So that's my first line. My second thing is, if the map that was included in the mail is any indication of who signed it, where, you know, the addresses that agreed to sign on with this. On the North Shore, on Rockaway, along Rockaway Road. 11 of the 24 homes, it appears. They have been highlighted and check marked to sign this. On the South Shore, going along, these are not including the channel homes or properties. On the South Shore going along, 18 of the 31 homes that appears are signed on to the petition. Along the channel, if you include the inlet home properties, 3 of the 13 homes. If you remove those inlet properties, 1 of the 13 of the 11 homes, properties have signed on to this. My neighbor is one of them. I believe that knowing this person in particular, they probably would not have signed it if they knew their name was a binding signature for this. I know this person fairly well. I mean, I've lived there for 12 years. You know, all in all, this kind of makes me kind of wonder about this. This kind of makes me wonder if 51%, signatures, I count 68 properties with 32 signatures. And I wrong, how many properties, I'm just wondering, how many properties are there?
63.
No, there's more than 63,
How many are there?
69.
Yeah, so I'm one property off, 68, 69 properties. With 32 signatures, at least according to this, I can count.
Okay,
That
I'm wrapping up, I'm wrapping up.
would be,
3 minutes.
So I do agree that something needs to be done with the lake. The information that was presented though, was not clear as to what was done on here.
Perfect, thank you for your time.
If I, excuse me, if I can just, comment or clarify, I can't speak to the process the clerk's office went through in terms of the certification. I wasn't involved in that. I can, however, point out that, regardless of whether there were concerns about the number of properties, the number of property owners, there are 2 ways of, meeting the statutory requirements. One is to have a majority of the property owners. The other one is to have a majority of the total property area. Even if, and I'm not saying one way or another, but even if there's a concern about whether it's a majority of the property owners, I don't think there's any question that it's a majority of the property surrounding the lake. They have a majority of the total area. So the petition is properly certified. It's in front of the committee for its consideration.
Okay, thank you for the explanation, Joe. So next in the list, again, not to speak, but you can if you choose, is Dean Hinsman. And then state your name and address, please.
My name is Dean Hinsman. I have a property at 101 278th Avenue on Camp Lake for 25 years now. I was the chairman of the Camp Center Lake Rehabilitation District for 13 consecutive years. CCLRD is the second largest lake district in Kenosha County. Number 1 is the entire village of Twin Lakes. So let me repeat that, the entire village of Twin Lakes is a lake district. I am here as an advocate for the good lake districts do in protecting and rehabilitating lakes. There are 260 lake districts in Wisconsin, and an average of 3 have been added every year for the last 10 years, according to the Wisconsin Lakes and Rivers Partnership, which is the DNR, University of Wisconsin Stevens Point and Lake Associations and Lake Districts in the state. The Village of Salem Lakes currently has 4 lake districts: Olds Lake Management District, Silver Lake Management District, Poker Lake Management District, and as I say, stated, the Campus Center Lake Rehabilitation District, CCLRD. These 4 districts represent $757,546,100 in real estate value. That's 32% of the village's annual value. The village is the 3rd largest in the county, by current assessed value of over $2,355 million. Combined, these districts manage a total of 1,374 acres of water. The watershed that feeds these lakes is 11,786 acres. All the districts were formed to manage aquatic invasive species AIS. And they all use DNR regulated and approved chemicals, harvesting, different permitted mechanisms. In our case, all we typically do our chemical treatments in May. And then when the native vegetation comes in later in the season, then we harvest accident channels and fishing lanes and things that are like. Rock Lake has a 487 acre watershed. It's classified for the DNR as a drained lake, meaning it gets its water from its watershed, but it doesn't have inlet. But it does have an outlet. Lakes with an inlet and outlet are called drainage lakes.
30 seconds.
Yeah. All Village of Salem lakes have springs, but they do not get their water going from springs. They get it from their watershed. I will have to skip it. Okay, in summary, based on my experience, districts provide diverse representation, financial stability, consequently the ability to receive grants from the state, and their practices follow efficiencies of scale.
All right, thank you. Thank you. Next is to Rick and Sandy Conacher.
I press the button there. Rick Honaker, 12544 249 Circle.
Hold the mic up closer. You have to speak directly into it.
12544 249 Circle. I'm here in support of the district. I've lived there 20 years. People talk about, okay, what's going on with the district? What's going on with what we're trying to do? I took a survey. We have lived there 20 years, like I said. I watched the cattails go out 20 feet and 500 wide, which is 10,000 square feet. We've watched the lily pads triple. We've tried several things with Mr. Hill. We've tried trimming, cutting. We've got all kinds of needs for a lot of different things to get weeds out. It didn't work. So something has to be done. We have the largest amount of lakefront on Rock Lake. And we have 12 grandkids that like to enjoy Rock Lake. And I think something needs to be done. If we want it to be a less than a lake, then that's fine. But at this point, based on the successes I've heard from other people, based on talking to Dennis Faber and other people that understand lake districts, we think this is the right thing to do. Some people want to control the lake, want to do things, but they haven't done anything in 20 years. I think this is the way to go. And I admire Mr. Hoke and I praise him for trying to do what he's trying to do here. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. Okay, then we have Jim Purrington.
Thank you. My name is Jim Harrington. I'm chairman of the Silver Lake Management District. We're at PO Box 294 in Silver Lake. I'm speaking in support of the petition to form the Rock Lake Management District. I was one of your Silver Lake property owners to form our Lake District about 5 years ago. The county board approved the formation of Silver Lake Management District in August 2021. I want to thank PDEC and the county board, especially Supervisor Decker at that time, for your support. Let me briefly describe what we've achieved in 5 years as a result of your support of the formation of the district. We were formed, like many, in response to our lake's takeover by invasive water milfoil. Our first priority was to take over management of the lake's invasive water milfoil from a private organization that was frankly run out of steam. Sounds similar, both in terms of funding and institutional leadership. We annually now sponsor a fall lake survey of invasive aquatic plant species, and then spot treat the lake for areas of dense water milfoil growth in the following spring. The idea is to treat areas of milfoil growth before it spreads into a lake-wide problem like it was for us about a decade ago. This is our 6th year. We treated as little as 1/2 acre to as much as 17.5 acres at an annual cost of $3,500 to $20,000. Also, based on our concerns raised by our constituents, we've taken on 3 other program areas. As one of the larger lakes in Kenosha County, our lake is very popular for both fishing and recreational boating. We have reinstated water safety patrols on the lake by contracting with the Kenosha County Sheriff's Department, provide police presence on the lake once again for the first time in about 7 or 8 years. This cost us a net of $5,000 to $8,000 per year after partial reimbursement and DNR grant. Lake levels are often also a big deal on many lakes. They're too high or too low, depending on which part of the lake you live on, but no one has any data to provide context. We are now recording the monthly lake level to provide reliable data. Our lake levels change during the year over time. 6 inches in a month is not unusual. This just cost us some time. Finally, we're just starting an effort to investigate our lake's current and future water quality concerns with the help of a $13,400 WDNR grant we just received. We will contract with Sewerfax Lake Scientists at a cost of about $20,000 to complete field studies and prepare a water quality monitoring plan to help ensure our future quality of the lake. All this has been accomplished with a small $52,000 tax study, which will be reduced by 10% last year, since we have spent less than expected on water and well management. Our approval of the Lake District added only about $150 to the real estate tax bill of our median property owner, who had an assessment of just under $3,000. I mentioned this detail to show you what can happen when you approve a Lake District petition and positive things happen. We started out because of invasive milfoil management, but have grown to address other high priority concerns expressed by lake property owners. We shared our budgets and our process with Mr. Hogan will help him jumpstart his organization when he finds out how to start the insurance and all that. Also, should be good. Thank you.
Thank you. Then we have Craig Helper.
Helper, DNR 1027 West St. Paul Avenue, Milwaukee. Craig Helper, the water quality biologist, covered Kenosha County, amongst other counties. I also oversee the aquatic plant management program conducted by districts, associations, and private individuals. I've been in my position for 25 years now, and over that time, I've seen a lot of interest that gets people to the table is aquatic plants, which just drives people insane. But in the case of districts, strange things happen along the way over time. For instance, Lily Lake, 1978 to 1982, conducted a dredging program that flipped their lake from a hyper-eutrophic to an eutrophic clear water lake. Hampton Center participated in the priority watershed program where millions of dollars were brought in by EPA and DNR to work on runoff entering the lake and improving the lake shore. Paddock Lake, spearheaded by the late great Tom Arneson, installed a storm center sewer system that cleans up the stormwater going into Paddock Lake. And most recently, Silver Lake just received a grant to, study the watershed and inputs to the lake. So plans get people excited, but it's the districts that have the ability to partner with the Department of Natural Resources and other entities and farm projects that protect and improve water quality in our lakes. So as the water quality biologist for the department, I do speak in support of Rock Lake Management District being formed.
Thank you. Next is, I think the last name is Emery, potentially.
Feel my big lemons.
Yes, Lemons.
Big lemons, 1, 2, 4, 5, 9, Rock Lake Road. I'm newer to the people that was whole lake thing. And I actually did it, I'm out for retirement, I bought a lake house, I buy a large house, I buy a small house. When I bought the house, there's just like, well, they're not using any weeds, that's what weeds coming up. And then the next year comes on, and you see it get worse and worse, and I just, you don't have people an idea of, well, we need to do this, we need to do that, right now, I don't look like one guy who's actually doing anything. And it's Dave, Dave Holtz, he's working on it, I mean, I absolutely. If you actually listen to what he said, I was gonna say much other stuff, but, if you listen to what he said, when he did opening remarks, listen to him, it's gonna be a very nice organization. It's just be up to the people of the way to, cause, they, we should talk to people, they're like, well, there's no triple tax, it's not gonna be triple taxes, so if you listen to David, you listen, he talks about how he breaks it up. This year, when we'll get a little more on property than tonight, rent it out here, but I'm just saying, it's like a no-brainer, and I can't, and there's some people that don't think it's a good idea, but I'm just saying, it's a lake, it should be a lake, it's called Rock Lake, it's not called Rock Farm, it's not called Rock Swamp, it's Rock Lake, and so I think it should be a lake.
Okay,
I definitely favor of it.
thank you. Next, again, this is not Jeff, but Jeff Colonna, you know, okay. Then we have, it's like maybe Michelle Tasta. Okay,
Can you hear me?
yes,
I just wanna share my concern,
but again, it's your name and address for the record.
25730 122nd Street. I live on the channel of Rock Lake. And, I had a similar experience, to Cole. And, I was approached by some very nice people, had a casual conversation, was told there's like informational nights. Well, I didn't get the flyer or the mailer that came out until weeks after it had already happened. So I feel very, underprepared for whatever's going to happen. I don't feel like I have the right information, and I feel that the way this was thought about was, I just don't feel like the information what is made available to us, but I just leave out everything. I haven't seen anything about infrastructure. Will there be a forward, or people who will be elected? What are the terms? What's the proposed budget? Maybe the station in my front yard at the end of the day didn't give me back. I just feel like the people who want to work just fail on the way. And I really want to prioritize my tax dollars for things that benefit the community at large, like the operational referendum for the school community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is Dave Keenan.
I just want to say that I'm not really in favor of my name's Dave Keenan, 25730 on 22nd Street. I also am on the channel. I'm not in favor of the whole tax district. Just like my wife said, we haven't been told about anything. All we've seen is signs up on the road saying, go ahead, Hokie tax district. I didn't know what that was all about. And here I am, I have to take off time for my own work to be here to hear what's going on. I'm going to be living in this house a lot longer than a lot of other people around here with my children. I'm concerned about what would have happened, whatever you're going to be putting in the lake, different things like that. Even the survey, there is one testimony my wife is Augusta, her brother lives right next door to us. But it was included as one parcel for both of us. So there's a lot of things that I think were kind of misinformed or kind of glossed over, and I just feel like we're kind of getting, not all the truth shown to us here. So that's all I have to say with that. Thank you.
Okay, okay, thank you. Next. Okay, thank you. Next is Kathy Frederick. Kathy Frederick. If not, then Dick Frederick. Dick Frederick. Okay, then we have Ben Yours. Ben.
All right. Ben Euro is the last name. I'm at 12001 257th Avenue in Trevor. I am aware of both provisions, the signature, the number of signatures and the acreage provision. But I do want to call out what I see as like a fundamental issue with the way the signatures were tallied here. They accepted 34 signatures. Essentially, the clerk said, if a husband and spouse are both on the tax rolls from last year, 2 people can sign for 1 parcel. So in 4 cases, they double signed for their 1 parcel, getting them to the 32 signatures, and then they compared it to, I believe, 62 parcels to get their 55% of those numbers, might have been a little or something, but I believe that is the correct way to count these. If they're able to count 2 eligible signatories for 1 parcel, that they're both on the tax roll, then all the people that did not sign for their petition, also we should account for, are there 2 eligible people on those parcels? Unofficially, I think you're looking at 87 people there, which gives you more like 39% signatures rather than 51%. So I'm not sure how that really wasn't sussed out previously, but that's the way I see it. Moving on to my next point, the sewer pack lake studies for Rock Lake that were cited by the petitioner in the front here. I believe going back to 2004, I'm not sure, but I have read personally the 2015 one, which concludes the formation of the Lake District as a low priority item. I read the most recent one that came out in January 2026, 10 years have passed. Still concludes the formation of the Lake District as a low priority item. That tells me that 10 years have passed and things, of course, have maybe changed and anecdotally on people's properties and can't speak to it. But not to the most significant point where they even moved it up to a medium priority item, still listed as low priority. Last week, I would just like to present a question. If the commission determines that voting for the formation of the district is in the best interest of the county, managing this resource, then why not consider the whole watershed? We heard it from the gentleman behind me was 487 acres. We heard that those of Twin Lakes are all a management district. Certainly lessen the burden of taxpayers if you expand the district and you increase your overall budget of the district. So I'd like to understand why those borders are selected and why the whole watershed would not be considered. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Karen Gillen.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, hi, I'm Karen Heelan. I live at 1205 to 255 Avenue, Trevor, Wisconsin. I swim in Rock Lake just about every day of the summer. I am also the citizen lake monitor for the DNR, and I've been doing that for many, many years. Rock Lake is not broken. Rock Lake is very clear. People come from all over to swim. Triathletes come there to train. My concern is that this lake district will encourage use of chemicals. We have not had chemicals in Rock Lake since 2004. And I think that this is the underlying thoughts for this lake district. And then my last statement I want to make is to Mr. Honaker. I've never met you, but I do know that you have not had that property and have not been a riparian owner since December 5th of 2025. So my curiosity is, why would you be working on the lake shore for years with Mr. Holt if you are not the owner of that property? So I think we need to look at the fact that that property was added to get the 51%, but it was property that was not really belonging to anybody at the time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next is Johan. Dylan?
Thank you. Johan Ewan, 12052, 255 Avenue in Trio. I would ask that have the commissioners actually read the letters that were submitted, because for the sake of not being redundant here, there's been a lot of letters that were put to the commissioners. So I don't want to regurgitate a lot of things that were already said. A few comments based on what I've just heard. Yeah, I've been an active Rock Lake user for 40 years also, and Rock Lake is not broken. The issue, which is being brought up by some others here, should not be focused on whether lake districts can be effective where being used. The question here is whether Rock Lake, which is not broken, really needs to have a lake district at all. The only thing that I see as a change from the 2 year ago application is that they now have enough land. And funny thing, because Mr. Honaker's property was strong-handed by the village of Salem Lakes in a land swap that was not popular with the people in village of Salem, but was pushed through by an administrator that's no longer even a part of the village of Salem Lakes. So the 20 years that Mr. Honaker has seen that Dave's work has worked, he's been looking from across the property that he didn't own, because he only just became a riparian, which now brings them here looking for relief on forming their lake district. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. And pardon me, forgive me if I mispronounce your name. Not very good at that, and I'm just trying to read everyone's writing, so please pardon me on mispronouncing your name. Next up is Brian Schwantz.
Brian Schwantz, 12535 Rock Lake Road. I am not in favor of the proposed lake district. One of the reasons that I've seen is since the survey, how many property transactions have taken place that have not been part of this survey. This was done 2 years ago. There may be many property owners that have changed in that amount of time.
Okay, thank you. Next, there's two. One is Mary, last name with an A. Yes.
Mary Apollinaire, 25623 121st Street, Trigger, Wisconsin. My issue with forming this lake district is the same thing. Someone came to my home while I was busy doing other things. I was misled. I was told I was going to be receiving information. And the only information I received was from Kenosha County, dated on the 4th, delivered on the 6th, and I took off work to come tonight. I am against Will's time. I think the lake could use help, but I think this is formed wrong. And I think maybe we should start from scratch, keep everybody informed, and all the neighbors who live beyond the lakefront. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And another individual with the same last name? You're okay? Okay, thank you. Kim Roper.
Yes, I'm Kim Roper. I live at 12428 250th Avenue, Trigger, Wisconsin. I have lived in the lake for 34 years. I'm very happy with our lake. I do not like the idea of putting chemicals in the water. I think the society as a whole should learn that chemicals are not a good thing. So we should all try to pay attention. I think there's been a lot of misinformation. The property that was obtained, the voice for 51% through the Salem Town Board. So I totally think this needs to be redone, relooked at. If anybody has brain cells, they're like, there are 10 lakes in Wisconsin that have used scuba divers. And they have been extremely successful in those 10 lakes. And if Kenosha County wanted to put pat themselves on the back, if you are gonna do this with no chemicals, hire some scuba divers, and you could be the first lake in Kenosha County done without chemicals. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kim McGlynn.
So again, 25123, 121st Street. I've lived in the Rock Lake community since 1984. I support forming of the Rock Lake Management District. I believe it is the only viable solution to protect the health and future of Rock Lake. A lake district is fair and sustainable solution. It allows everyone who uses and benefits the lake an opportunity to speak and have participation in the preservation of the lake. It also enables stable funding and local oversight in order to properly manage the lake long term. I think an important point to make is this isn't just for the people who live on the lake. It's for everyone who benefits from the lake. An important point is the most important community asset is the lake. And it needs to be preserved and protected for all residents, for visitors and future generations. That's what's important. So I respectfully ask the board to support the formation of the Rock Lake Management District.
Thank you. Next, we have Dan McKinney.
Hi, I'm Dan McKinney, 25301 121st Street, live on Rock Lake. We're here to support and ask you to form help us form a management district. Some years ago, the problem with the Chesapeake Association is we do not have the resources that we need to really take care of the lake. Some years ago, we went to the township asking for a grant to help us care for the lake. And the Restoration Association, our owners, petitioned the township for this grant. The Highlands Association, which is primarily people not on the lake, all right, fought the idea that we should get a grant, and it was turned down by one vote. We lost, we didn't get the grant, we lost resources. So some years later, trying to work together as a Highlands and Restoration Association, a number of the people on the lake, we tried to have a membership drive, tried to get more people to join. We thought that they needed new leadership in the association. So we got a number of the people around the lake to try and join the Highlands Association. At that point, the Highlands Association changed their long standard tradition and policy of letting everybody around the lake and north of the lake of the JS to join the association. But knowing that a number of the people on the lake wanted to change leadership, they came up with a policy. They found an old policy that said only the people from 131st Street north to JF and Rock Lake Road over to the railroad tracks, give or take, all right, would be allowed to join. So they disenfranchised a whole bunch of people who live on the lake from being able to be part of the association that would work together for the good of the lake. Now we thought, okay, if we work together as a district, there will be the resources we need to take care of the lake. Currently don't have the resources.
30 seconds.
All right, so we are petitioning so we can come together as a community for the resources for the lake. Once again, people who are members of the Highlands Association, who are not in the Riparians, who are not in the district, are fighting us and trying to disenfranchise us from coming together as a lake district to work for the good of the lake. Enough said.
Thank you. Then we have Marilyn McKinney.
Kenny, again, I'm just white. We live on the lake, we've been there about 14 years. I just wanted to address the information aspect. We had 2 community meetings for people on the lake, off the lake. We invited everybody to come and meet, and we told them, you know, gave them information. We asked you questions at the first session, and the second one did a detailed PowerPoint of what a lake district is. I mean, it was detailed, and how it would affect you, how would it affect your tax, how would it affect your, you know, you personally. And we had that meeting. On top of that, I and another neighbor went house to house to every person every homeowner that lived on the lake and the channel, and talked to everybody and to ask them, do you have any information? Do you have any concern? Here's some information about the place. And we were able to get a lot of good feedback. And I will say that many of the lake owners are concerned about Rock Lake, the usage of Rock Lake and how it is becoming so infested with these invasive species, the cattails, etc. And these are people who have been on the lake for years, many of them, and also on the channel. I spoke with people, Mr. Krause over there, and told them, here's our information. If you have any, you know, wanting more information, we really try to be transparent and inclusive to everybody on the lake and off the lake. And I will tell you also, many people on the channel are concerned about it being unnavigable. The word is navigatable. And the erosion concern was also expressed. They felt helpless to do anything because of the money this would involve in remedying the situation. We also have tried with our Rock Lake restoration, which has been addressed. We don't have any money anymore. Our equipment is unreliable, and we are getting older. We can't just go out here and pull weeds. We need equipment. We need ways of taking care of Rock Lake. And that's why we feel the Lake District is very needed. And also on sewer fact, they did address the challenge as being getting attention. My husband and I are willing to invest our resources to take care of the lake because we feel it is worth our investment. And we feel the Lake District is a good way for everyone to work together to take part in its care and share costs of maintaining it. I'm a real estate agent, and I know the values of our homes is affected by the way that lake looks. And so this is another concern of many homeowners that I spoke with. So I hope you all will understand how important this is for us to take care of our beautiful Rock Lake. Thank you.
Thank you. To Kelly. Kelly.
Did Kevin Laurel speak and Sue Kelly, property owner at 2007. Street, just the voices she's in. I think we go, you are saying, some information is supposed to be given. So a feeling that the channel properties and part of the classified as vacant properties versus taxes starts here. As channel property. It does not seem that the channel properties here are clear view of the lake or sure access. Channel, but this summer, it was sewage that I am asking the board to hold up on making a decision in our paper against it until the properties owners have necessary information. Thank you.
April, did you have to give his name?
Can you repeat your name and address, please?
Nick Hebler, 25715.
So that, Linda Fox, I believe. Linda, no? Okay. Then we have Eric Nielsen.
Yes, I'm Eric Nielsen. I'm property at 12403 Rock Lake Road. I've been an owner there since 2002 along with my family. I'm here in to encourage disapproval of this petition. I submitted a letter to you. It's various exhibits. I hope the committee has received it. I'm not going through everything in detail. I do want to highlight a couple things here. Quite frankly, I don't recognize all this kumbaya stuff that the petitioner has identified, and I don't recognize all this information flow that the McKinneys have been talking about. In fact, it's just the opposite. What has been done here is a travesty to the process of creating a lake district. I have repeatedly constructively and neutrally suggested that the people involved with this, going back to the Restoration Association through the current effort, look at the University of Wisconsin Stevens Point Extension Lakes material. They have a wealth of information regarding the creation of tax districts like this. None of that has been used by people organizing this. None of it has been disseminated to the property owners, area owners. Some key things coming out of this network that the UW Stevens Point has done. There's some very clear things about what makes a good lake district. This includes having what they call riparian frame. That's where you get all of the properties involved. Now, if you'll notice this map specifically excludes the 3 parcels owned by the Village of Salem Lakes. This goes against all good practice tax districts. You should not exclude any riparian properties, but in the case here, these 3, these are key access points to it for not only the 63 properties around it, but hundreds of other homes that are within walking distance. Most notably, all 3 of these locations are both access points. And if you go back to what common sense, but also what's emphasized by Stuart Papp, is that you have to control the inflow of invasives. Or ingress of invasives, and the best way to do that is by managing various access. None of this has been done, none of this has been considered. Nobody has really talked about the dam at the end of the channel. If you're going to go through the point of making a tax district, you have to include the dam, which is actually a weir which controls lake levels. The last point I want to make is that the petitioner consistently invokes the name of Rock Lake Restoration Association. This has not been a qualified organization for years. I have requested of him, who is the membership, how many are the paying members and meeting the criteria. He has not, he's been unresponsive. Similar to the McKinneys, they have for the material that they claim is showing everything. They have not provided that. So for all the other neighbors here that have complained about strange petitions and lack of information, that is a very valid situation. And just one last comment regarding the petition. I want to support these. Yeah, I understand, but I have never received a response from the clerk here regarding my concerns about the petition, because you are talking about 54% or whatever numbers, and then it doesn't matter because the land area doesn't meet. The actual percentage based on the statutes required for petitions is you only have
37.9% of the property owners in support of this.
Yes, sir.
As you consider the need for a tax district, you have to look at what the actual taxpayers are looking at. The land isn't paying for that every time. The people are.
We want to have time for reviewing here, and we understand your point, and that is something that
I would expect,
attorney had mentioned.
I expect replies to very serious concerns about the petition. They have been
Next up is Cynthia Court, please. Cynthia Court.
I'm Cynthia Court.
Press the button on there, so it turns right. There you go.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
Oh, it's red. Cynthia Court, 25627 121st Street. Well, I got something else I was gonna say, but I wrote you a letter. Some of the things that I've heard just now are such lies. Marilyn McKinney never came to my house. No one ever came to my house to talk to me. When they had the second meeting of information, they would not let anyone in that didn't live on, that was not a riparian owner. They said it was a closed meeting. We requested that people could come. They refused to let people that lived around the lake, not riparian owners, come to the meeting. Now, this lake is for everybody. She just said that. Now, why isn't everyone in the watershed included in this? Why isn't everybody getting all this information? Why would they just pick riparian owners? The people around the lake swim in the lake. They should have a say in what happens in the lake. And this is a bowl-shaped lake. There's no weeds in the middle. The weeds are along the shorelines, the people's lots. Now, why don't they clean their own lots? They bought a house on the lake. Why don't they clean their own weeds out of their front of their house? Why do us on the channel have to pay for their weed cleanup? And the channel, yes, is struggling and choking with weeds and lily pads. But I think there was a law at one point where you couldn't even pull the lily pads. Maybe you can now. You're allowed to have a 30-foot swath in front of your house. I mean, our HLA never included the channel in anything. We were not, you know, the only thing I know is the channel probably needs to be dredged, which is like thousands, like $1 million, you know, $500,000 to do that. This lake district will never raise the funds to dredge the channel. I find this way overboard. This is the smallest lake in this area. I don't believe a lake district is necessary for this small 46-acre lake. Thank you.
Thank you. The last one, I'm gonna go with the address, 12531 Rock Lake Road. State your name and address.
Oh, there we go. Okay, Jerry. Proposed not all, looking like a 31 Rock Lake Road, about 21 years there. I'm glad I'm going past the current levy things out, and I'm not gonna make this personal anyway. Just a few statements I wanna make. I would like to see the lake district larger. I feel people will benefit from the lake if they don't live on it. So we are gonna encourage tax increase of some kind, provided this goes through. And I do really be nice, suppose everything all underway, the same sale. But I still think some consideration should be given that their property would increase the value to their right? So it was one thing. I'm not a fan of chemicals yet, I can say yet. But I thought today, I better. I'm a guy like, this is like a last resort kind of thing. I still believe this. I think we have to lots of every rapid. I brainstorm ideas. I like when we get it done. And I was in that ground before I gave some money for the very first land survey again. And, you know, my is there, to make it easier to use for everyone, especially the landowners. So I think that thought did actually work pretty well. Probably would bring a few up to shore, a lot of people that want to get rid of them. But everybody has an opinion, so there we go. As far as liability of the tax district, or to put it to folks over here, you gotta really be, I don't know if you could trust in. Did something go wrong here, and there's lawsuits involved, you know, are the people individually responsible for the district? and, that part of your, your overall plan, your satisfaction. I heard things like the bees are caught in coal again, I'm not sure if I want like to drain or hot water again, the things that, it's not sure. And then last I heard, I'll make this quick, in conversations with people trying to get these either before or against, only to try to before, they point out to the local, lake district, if you had an overage of a lot big amount of $100,000 in reserve. And for that, I say, if you're, to me, use the money. But I know if you got big projects or you're second threat, you're a big quality that part of the camp. I would ask that this board or council or whatever, respectfully consider maybe, bring the decision. I know it's doesn't make that way according to the first lot. That's my opinion, and I don't want to make anything personal. I think it's the right how to define it. That's it, that's all.
Thank you. Robert Huda.
Just a couple of points, Robert Luda, 12303 Rock Lake Road. The lake is 73.4% open water, no plant lake at all. I don't think any other lakes in the area can really say that. And yes, many other lakes do dump chemicals yearly. I don't blame them because they're 6 feet deep, 10 feet deep. That's not Rock Lake. Most of Rock Lake has a very deep middle and has no plants at all. Page 58 of the draft does talk about a little priority for the district. Looking for that info. The joining of the Highlands, the Kumbaya, was an attempted takeover that failed. All houses on this lake were sold way above assessed value. There's no talk of any kind of budget other than I think maybe 20,000 was slid into one of the sheets that weren't shown to people signing, I believe, but there was talks of buying new machinery, including a boat and transportation. There's chemicals, there's labor involved in this. That's a big part of the equation too. It has to be scrutinized. That's all over here. No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. The last is last name, Sacco.
My name is Mike Sacco. I live at 2572 121st Street. I've been there for 35 years, and I don't believe the lake is broken, and I don't believe it was broken back then. It was the same. I don't think we need the higher taxes, because like you said, everything that's involved, this could get really out of hand really fast. We could be paying a lot of money. So that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. And then for the record, the committee was provided with letters of opposition. I'll just name them, Eric Nielsen and Kukazik, Carolyn Ferry, Cindy Ford, David Erdl, Kim Erdl, Trina Kukazik, Cindy Court. I guess it was a response. Another response was E. Nelson. And a few more here for the record. We have Robert Fuda, Elsa Hoff. Did anyone else see any that I missed? Oh, seems like that covers what we've received through the clerk to the committee. So I'm gonna ask for last call for anyone that wants to speak that have not spoken. Because when we finish with the public comment will close. And then it'll be up to the committee and the petitioner to go and deliberate and discuss and ask questions. So that anyone that has not spoken wants to speak at this time. Okay, I see a person, and those that have already spoke, this is for anyone that has not spoken. Then I'll get your name and address up here once you finish. So state your name and address for the record, please.
Terry Kay, I'm on the list. 25800, 121st Street. Provoke anxiety. I've been there for 16 years and I'm on the channel. I was involved in the first analysis of the lake. And read, and in there it states that it's questionable as far as the long-term effects of using chemicals on the fish and wildlife. They have pros and cons for it, different ways of doing it. And we like to believe that if there's a group of people, a body of people who are in charge of the Lake District to make good decisions about what is being done with using chemicals to control their weeds. However, I know for a fact that people can tend to do what they want when no one's looking. And I witnessed the use of chemicals at the mouth of the channel when I first came here on a whole bunch of weeds that were beautiful, and the next day they were dead. And it was very, very pronounced. And so those chemicals went into the channel. There's a lot of wildlife in there all year round. And the channel sort of controlling the water levels. When it rains a lot in the spring, and the water comes through there very violently. And the lily beds that were all along the banks on the other side of my property held the banks. And the people bought the place and didn't know any better. They went up there and they pulled all of their weeds out because they wanted to access the water. But no sooner did they do that, the water level went down because when summer's here, you have no water in the channel. Whether you like it or not, you can't get through there. Both hits the bottom of the channel. And I understand why people don't want invasive weeds. Like another person said, the river of that lake is very shallow. The middle of that lake is a solid body of water that's not affected by weeds very much. And everybody's using it for recreation, and the wildlife is wonderful. So if you start listening to things, the ability to put chemicals in there, people are here to do what they want. Why don't you get all the riparian people who are fertilizing your lawns as if you're living in paradise, stop doing that?
Please, okay, thank you. So last call for those that have not spoken that would like to speak before we close public comment. These are for people that have not spoken previously. Yes, sir. I think you're on the list, but you chose not to speak previously, correct?
Correct.
Yes, okay, thank you.
We live at 2563 121st Street. We have been here 5 years on the lake, on Rock Lake Road previously, and we are 18 going to 19 years on the channel on 121st. So, we were for the approval of Rock Lake District. I totally spoke at the last meeting. The lake does need to get taken care of. We need to preserve the lake for everyone, but it's strongly against chemicals. Because somehow, some way that will get into the water table. So With that said, that is my biggest concern. And yes, taxes will go up, but we need to manage that if this does go forward. So we don't have enough information or didn't receive enough information, so we're kind of regretting we signed. So I didn't know it was, if you signed, it was, I thought it was more of a petition. Now I'm hearing it's an ironclad. So most importantly, it's, yes, the lake is the most important thing because we feed off of it and it affects everyone in the neighborhood as well as the homeowners on the lakefront. So with that said, we're just gonna leave it to your wisdom. As we have to go to people say, as people. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So we asked twice, this will be the third time for anyone that has not spoken that would like to, please raise your hand. Last call. With that being the case, then public comment is closed. We thank you for all your comments. The committee definitely wanted to hear from you. So now with public comment closed, it will be up for the committee to discuss amongst themselves to discuss with the petitioner and allowing the petitioner to provide any additional feedback from some of the comments that were brought up. So that's how the meeting works, okay? Just want everyone to understand it, so thank you again. So, Jared.
Committee? Do we want a motion to approve so we can start discussion? Or do you want to have conversation? Conversation. All right. Questions?
All right.
All right.
You ready?
All right, I have a few questions. Andy, was notice of announcing the public hearing mailed to all the addresses of the property owners?
Yes.
Oh, this public hearing. Okay, all the property
For
owners.
the public hearing.
Okay, and did we get that from the petition or from?
That's from planning information.
Okay. I see the legal description is in the petition. I can get the site for that. It's only a department, make sure that that's correct.
Planning information.
Okay, okay, I just want to make sure. Question for the petitioner, are they going to maintain the channel and the weir?
That is the plan.
You speak into the mic so everyone can hear you.
Yes, that is the plan. There's been talk about dredging it and the expense of that. History will verify that at a point in time, we had a permit that gave us special compensation to mow the channel. And the plan that I have and that would present is that we purchase an underwater cutter. If we can mow the lily pads, it will increase the flow. And it will also allow people to have a navigational lane then to get out to the main water.
What about the weir is the dam?
Well,
That was part of my question also.
the history of that was that the township came to our association and asked us if we were interested in buying it. And at the time we declined, and there was some concern about who really owns it. So at that point, I can only answer by saying it needs to be monitored, the dam. And we have to provide people to do that so that we can raise and lower the lake by the amount of flow that we allow through that dam. That certainly is a concern. And that's something that a district would have to address as to how we do that.
Do you know who monitors the dam now?
No, at one point in time, there were a number of people that were interested in looking at it. One was Eric Backey. Another was even someone who spoke here this evening, Bob Pluta. Bob at one point in time, had some property there on the channel. And, he was spending some of his time trying to control that situation there. But it really has not gotten the kind of attention it deserves.
So, Andy, this is a question for you. Who takes care of the dam there? Who owns the dam? Because when I go to land information, it says, I can't remember what it's like, it's just this weird property that has no owner. How do we rectify that situation? Because I recall the county has given dams like in Sentinel Lake to a group that wants to maintain it.
That was when the county did one.
Okay, so what happens if this dam fails and no one owns it?
They don't think something that potentially questions for the village.
Why would it be the village and not us? Just that,
Because it's additionally, it's a village. A road.
and I'm thinking, he knows the answer.
It's all fun.
I know. You speak, Mike, speak into the mic, we can't hear you. Thank you.
Name's Dennis Favorite, I'm the village trustee in Salem, and about 12 years ago, the town of Salem did some work on the dam. So they have looked at it, but it's not unusual, they have these, they actually have one between Thunder Lake and Camp Lake that did not have ownership, we eventually took ownership, that Lake District did. And they're in the process of taking ownership of the one that's on IBC. It's called from the town, as you may know. But that's a very good question. And the district may be able to, do something for people from the Rock Lake area, from the village. And, I'll talk to you whatever, but I know in the past they have looked at it, and they have done work there, I'm sure they had a bathroom, maybe, all
Okay, so the village is made, but probably at that time it was the town. The town maintained it.
Well, that was the village.
Right, but that's back when they did last time. It's the town.
Maybe, I don't know if there's, deed or anything that would say that we own it, but, I know they worked on it.
Okay.
And this gentleman would be verified, his contract.
Thank you very much, Mr. Beard. Okay, today I spent how many hours watching videos on, thank you, Chair Guida, Chair Guida Brown for sending that. I also watched our video, from this August of 2024, of the meeting on the same purpose. Going through the state statutes and watching the video from Atole's law, and these are questions regarding the petition itself. So under state statutes 33.21, the petition itself said, it must set forth a purpose, and that must be stated in the petition. There is no purpose stated in the petition that we received in Exhibit A. All it says is there is no purpose stated. No. That.
That's not.
Right, but it must set forth, and it's not in the under state statute 33.25 subsection 2. It says the petition has to include a description of the necessity. There is no description of the necessity here, just says the district is necessary. And so that is supposed to be stated on the petition also. It also must include information that that explains the public health, comfort, convenience, necessity, or public welfare will be promoted by establishment of the Lake District, i.e., what are the reasons this is needed? And what is the purpose of the Lake District? Again, it's not stated on the petition when state statutes require that it be stated on the petition. So I also found the Stevens Point People of the Lakes, a guide from Wisconsin Lake Organizations. And in there, it was a 150-page document, so I didn't read the entire thing today. In there, on page 43, they have a sample petition, which it shows what you should do and what should be stated on there. And then on page 44, it shows how you should set up a sample petition for the signatures with dates and things like that. I found other petitions online. I found a petition for a school district special meeting. It had all the information at the top of it. This petition doesn't. This petition another petition I found online was, and this was from the government website, the state of Wisconsin website, a petition for direct legislation. The wording for it and the information about it is at the top. So the people that are signing it underneath know what they're signing. The petition that we received as Exhibit A does not do that. Then I also found a recall petition from the state of Wisconsin, and it also states at the top what this petition is for and the signatures below the petition. So these petitions that we received I just couldn't make sense of them. And none of these pages where the people signed actually has the information that's required by state statutes. So in my opinion, when I look into the state statutes, those petitions are not valid based on the state statutes and what I read or what I watched in the video from the Atole's law. Does court counsel have any comments on that, or you know what I say, or?
I've not watched the video, so I don't know what the Atoll's people were saying.
Okay.
I'm obviously not in a position to advocate on one way or another. Certainly you have described the statutory requirements in looking at the document that you're referring to from the extension. Looks like their sample petition, as you were describing, simply indicates makes the statements as outlined in the statute, i.e. district is necessary, establishment of public health, comfort, convenience, necessity, public welfare, etc. I don't know whether a more specific statement is required. It looks at what based on that sample, and in terms of the question of the petition, obviously I was not involved in the preparation. I wasn't involved in circulation. It looks to me as if the information that you are seeking was on a page, which I assume was included with the signature page, but again, I wasn't involved in that process.
I don't see any information that I'm requesting that was included in this Exhibit A. The petition that I'm seeing, it says, "We the undersigned, the petitioners, hereby petition the Board of Supervisors of the County of Kenosha to establish a public inland lake protection and rehabilitation district pursuant to the authority vested in Chapter 33 Wisconsin statutes and states that 1, the district if established shall be known as the Rock Lake Management District, which is required by law, by state statutes, they have to say that, to name the district. 2, the district is necessary. That's all they say. They don't say why it's necessary. 3, establishment of district will promote the public health, comfort, convenience, necessity, and public welfare. They don't state how it will do that and explain. The lands to be included within the district will be benefited by the establishment of the district. Again, they don't state how. 5, the boundaries of the proposed district are as described in the legal description prepared in the map here attached, which those were attached. So that number 5 is correct. But they did not meet numbers 2, 3, and 4, which is required in state statutes to explain what those were. It looks like all they did was copied and pasted from the sample petition, which doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that it should be worded that. They're saying number 2, you need to explain that the district is necessary. Number 3, you need to explain the establishment of the district, how it will promote the public health, comfort, convenience, necessity, and public welfare. And 4, the lands to be included within the district will be benefited by the establishment of the district. So they just copied it, they didn't write and explain to the people that were signing, which is required by state statutes, what those, explain what those item numbers are. So that's.
I think I may have misunderstood the question that you were posing. I will certainly acknowledge that the petition as presented simply states the statutory requirements, doesn't include additional information.
Okay, so I have issues with the petition that way, in that does not have the information that is required by state statute. And I have completed many a petition and created many petitions, and I know that you do not create it correctly or have the correct wording on it, those petitions get thrown off. I know that especially from the recall work petition, because many of our petitions got thrown out. And then all of us sitting here on this committee, county board supervisors, we have to do signature nominations, which is basically a petition. And many of us get signatures thrown off, or I know people have gotten completely thrown off the ballot because the top of the petition, the nomination signature, was incorrect and didn't follow state statutes. So that's my comment on that. And in addition, we had one person email and then several people state here in the citizen comments that they were not informed that this was a binding contract or exactly what it was. I believe the email said that it was like set out on a table at a meeting, like a sign-up sheet. They didn't realize that it was actually signing a petition. And so that worries me, especially since the petition that was submitted under Exhibit A has no wording at the top to explain. If it had wording at the top and someone signed it, I would say that's on them for signing it and not reading the top. But there's no wording on the top that says any information that this is a petition or anything like that. It just says Lake District petition signature. That's all it says. So that's some of the issues, that's the issues I have with the Exhibit A and the petitions. So I do not believe those petitions are valid because they did not follow state statutes. And then I also watched our meeting from last 2024. And one of the comments was, and this was also in the video, the county board may form a lake district. We do not have to. We may form a lake district if the requirements of state statute 33.26 are found to exist. So we don't have to do it. And my takeaway from the meeting in 2024 was, if they meet the state statutes, we have to do it. Well, we do not. We may do it. And then looking at the exhibits we received, give me a second. Gotta find it. Okay, they have to, according to the state statutes, they have to get the Salem Lakes to approve its properties being included in the Lake District. We received this in the packet that, in 2024, let's see, the 5th day of August, 2024, the resolution number 2024.08-103. It's a resolution approving the inclusion of village territory within the boundaries of a proposed public inland lake protection and rehabilitation district for Rock Lake. Corporation Council, or Annie, I don't know. Is this to incorporate, or maybe Mr. David knows, but is this resolution to incorporate the parklands into the Lake District? Or is it approving the mapped out area of the Lake District that the village says, yes, we support it being in a Lake District? Do you know what?
Well, that would be the same, that, what,
Mike.
the county park in Silver Lake. The county park in Silver Lake, I think the Lake District is formed, and those properties are not in the district.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yes, like the, county park on Silver Lake. The Lake District was formed there with the retired owners, just, but the park district is not in the district. And village land would not be in the district either, because the taxi, they're not, you know, they're a government body.
Okay, so this resolution is saying,
But what I mean is they're not part of the taxi thing. Now, that resolution I did talk to, last week, the Eric Olson, who was with the University of Wisconsin, Stevens Point, the director of Lakes and Rivers Partnership Authority. He said that is still valid, that, you know, was signed in 24, they did their application for a year ago. The Rock Lake District did, and that is worded from the wording that's in the university's document you're talking about.
so this is the village, correct me, I just want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly. This is the village saying that it's okay for this area in this, that they mapped out.
That is correct.
That goes into the Lake District. It's not saying we want our parks, our land that we own in the Lake District, correct?
By law, the parks are free for everyone. I mean, they're not in the district. Nobody owns the park, it's village land. The parks would be in the district, let me put it that way, that they'll be affected by the things that take place in the lake. That property is not taxable.
Well, but there's a difference between not taxable. We understand that lake property or village property or county property is not taxable, but it still can be in the Lake District.
Oh, definitely it's in the Lake District.
But that's not what this map says. And they're not counting that acreage of the village property as part of the district.
I think the reason that, I don't know, maybe Mr. Hope didn't say it, because your basic is requirement on the amount of land around the lake, so you can't count the village land.
But you actually can. And the village can say, they can pass a resolution saying, yes, we want our parks and the old land we own in around the lake to be included in the management district.
And who told you that?
I read it and watched it today. I watched it again today, so it's all fresh in my mind. For council?
Jim, do you know if, park is in Silver Lake District?
No, the county said absolutely not. And the village said absolutely not. So our boundary looks like the boundary. So the UW extension suggested it could be.
Right.
When we went to them, our attorney, those lake districts, when we informed it, said you're not required to. The village didn't want it, the county park didn't want it. So, and the DNR didn't want it. So they excluded all public lands from all lake district, looks like theirs.
Okay. But that's not what Mr. Faber just said. He said it was not the Silver Lake. He just said that the Rock Lake, the Salem Lakes land is included in the district. For council?
I believe, and I stress believe. The question you're asking, I think, is the requirement that the village board approve village-owned lands be part of the district or something else? Is that correct? Is that the question you're asking?
No, I know that the village-owned lands do not have to be in the district. They can vote to say, yes, we want them in the district, okay?
Right,
But what I'm saying is the state statutes requirement saying that the village, that this resolution is saying the village is signing off on that land going into the Lake District. Because, you know, because it's part of the village as a over.
That is my understanding.
What this is.
My understanding of the statute, which I have in front of me, before a district, it includes any portion of a city or village may be formed under authority of this section. The city council or village board must have previously approved the inclusion of its territory within the boundaries of the proposed district. And I don't read that as
it's
village-owned property and village contained.
Yes, it's
So
within the village.
that is my understanding of the statute, and from what I'm hearing, trustee Faber is indicating that that resolution is still valid.
Even though the map has changed and it's added village properties.
It's a different map.
It's a different map now than what they approved.
Yeah. Because they did an eight-acre thing.
This map excluded everyone on the channel that the village approved. And now they're in this district here. Take out, I'm not talking about the village property, the village owned property. But this map is not the same as that map. And the village approved this map, not that map.
And I can't speak to what the village did, if they were approving that map, if they're approving the concept of allowing village territory to be part of the district. I'm not expressing an opinion because I don't know. All I can tell you is I didn't reach out to the village attorney. The village was aware this was coming up. The village was aware of the new petition, and I did not get a response back in terms of whether they felt a new resolution was necessary or not.
Because, I mean, based on the date this was signed, August 5th of 2024, that map was not even invented yet. This map was. But you're.
No, I want to be.
I'm not advocating for or against in any manner. I'm trying to figure out facts of what, Supervisor Decker's comments are, and I read the plain letter of the petition, and I think that that's what we're trying to get to is what is the meaning of the petition? And, you know, I'm not an attorney, I'm a board member, I'm trying to read it, and understand it the same way that everybody else is here. And again, I'm not for it or against it, I'm just saying that it does not specifically reference a map or a date. So therefore, you know, Corporation Council, you could weigh in on this, but it simply states that the village is in favor or the pursuant to the state statutes that they do improve the inclusion of village territory within the boundaries of the public inland lake protection rehabilitation district. There is not a definitive map that's referenced to it, a date or time of the map. And it doesn't specifically say their parcels that are owned or right of way or park or anything like that. It is very vague. It's the territory to be included in the Lake District. Is what it appears to be from my perception.
And that's what I interpreted also. That's what I also interpreted.
It wasn't based on that. We were endorsing that it's okay for can be elected.
Okay, thank you. That helps a lot that it wasn't based on a map. Because I don't even have what's online and available or what I have available to find. Doesn't even have who voted yes and who voted no. All I have is that the president and the clerk signed it. So I don't even know how the vote went.
Saying that it did pass unanimously, it doesn't say that on there.
Nope.
No.
It may not be.
And I'm not saying it is required. I was just, I would like to know because we have some goals on ours. But thank you for clarifying that because I was. No, you didn't. You clarified that you didn't approve a specific map. You just approved that, yes, the village is approving a Rock Lake district be some of our overarching land that's in our village be in the district. Okay, thank you. And so I'm trying to think, was there anything else I got? Oh, so I have a question for court counsel. Because I have no life, went through yesterday and created a spreadsheet of every property around the lake that is supposed to be in this new district. I looked up via our interactive mapping, the parcel number, the address, all the owners on every property, and the parcel size. When I count all the property owners of all 69 properties around the lake and the channel, I count 97 property owners. Some of them are one property owner, some of them are two, and then some obviously are owned by a trust, which is one owner. So if you count the number of property owners that signed the petition divided by the actual number of property owners, that percentage is 32.99%, which is well below the 50%. But I know that they can do with the acreage. So my question is, if there's a property owned by two people and only one owner signed it, why are we including that when both owners didn't sign it? Because I own my property with my husband. He can't do anything with my property, with our property, without my signature. He can't sell my property without my signatures. It's ours together. So if only one signature signed it and there's two signers, then why are we counting that as part of the acreage? The statutes are unclear.
Yeah.
The statute, what is it? Statute 33 is very vague and not helpful to us when we're in meetings like this. But
So, again, not arguing for or against the petition, trying to just get to the facts and understand here. I'm also a Village of Twin Lakes trustee, which means that our village, the Twin Lakes Lake District, encompasses the entire village, and the Board of Trustees is the same for the village as it is for the Lake District. So that's just how that is set up. So just like the Silver Lake District, or there's Power Lake District, or Camp Lake, so there's many other districts around, but my experience on the Twin Lakes Lake District is that whether the folks are residents or not residents, it doesn't matter, it goes to the property ownership. So when people are coming to the meeting and signing in for the meetings, each person, if there's two residents or three residents or whatever, if you live there, you property owner, and that, I guess that's another thing, if you live there or not.
that's in state statutes and that's.
So like, if, say there's three residents on a property, they could all come in, sign up and get a, we have a little piece of paper that's essentially gives you the ability to vote at the Lake District meeting. So
It's both, according to the video, it's both the property owners and the people that live there that can vote in the annual meetings. But state statute says it's property owners. It's not residents, it's property owners. And it also stated that if it is a trust, the trust only gets one vote, and they have to be one of the members of the trust. But even if there's 8 members, they only get one vote. Sure. I was gonna get to that. So back to Cardinal, member council. Reading.
I don't know that I've got an answer for you, and I don't know that I would be comfortable you try to come up with something
Off the, and I understand, I was. Supervisor Pearson knows this, I showed up yesterday to the work session, but I didn't see the email. Because I had all these questions ready for yesterday and wanted to ask them yesterday, so they didn't have to be asked here. But that's my fault. The email was sent, I did receive it, I just lost it in the list of emails that I had. I'm glad it wasn't downtown because it was only a few minute drive for me. And then I went to the grocery store. So if you count the parcels that all the property owners signed, either one or two, and you don't count the ones where they have two property owners and only one of the property owners signed. If all the property owners signed, then the percentage of the acreage of the parcels is 32.99%, well below the 51%. So that makes a big difference. I think that's all. I'm not that great.
I have a question for you. Supervisor Becker, I actually have questions for you. So from that, because I have a leg and I didn't watch the videos.
Wait, you sent us the video?
I know.
You didn't watch?
Not watch that one. I didn't watch the big meeting from Florida.
Well, I wanted to refresh my memory.
That's good. So if we can refresh mine, because I thought one of the points that we had made in that meeting was the next time this came before us, we want to see a budget or a version of a budget.
That was.
Okay.
That was one of the requests. And I also asked for them to get a lawyer.
Yeah.
So everything.
I remember that. I know, yes, I hear that in your voice. Secondly, because all of that property owner stuff it becomes very confusing, especially with trusts. And so it's easier to look at acreage. And I understand last time the riparian acreage was vastly different because of the transfer of land. And that was a point of contention last time. But my question for you now is based on the village saying, yes, our land is in this. Does that also change from your map?
The village did not say their land, their parks was in it.
In
that resolution.
So it's
just saying, yes, we as a village want our village land, not the village owned land, but the village territory land in the Lake District. So it wasn't the parkland.
Yeah. So again, regardless, I understand the carving out of that land then also changes acreage, right? I mean, so in that first map, all of that village land was in.
You have the map.
Take it past. I have the map.
I think it was cut out.
This one was cut out here. But I don't know if it's just the map, and I don't know if they calculated it with it in it or not. Because I don't have that.
And then I just wanted to make a point to everyone in attendance regarding the channel. That was another point of contention that this body had, that we wanted that channel included because it is on the lake, and whether or not you can see the lake, if the problems are coming from the channel or building in the channel, this body asked that those channel homes be included in the land mix decision. So I don't think that point. Julia, Supervisor Robinson.
I'd like to go first because I already had, as you know, she looked over and she looked at my notebook. And I had some of the very same concerns, along with the fact that under the guideline for reviewing Lake District petitions, which is based on the state statute 33, subsection 5, it talks about verification of the petition and signature. So we've already gone over the fact that every page is supposed to have what it is and what needs to be happening and what are the purpose and all the necessity and all of those things. It's supposed to be in there. Every page is supposed to have that. Then it talks about the fact that one of the petitioners must verify that the petition and signatures are true and correct to the best of their knowledge and sign under oath in the presence of the notary public. This verification, signature, and oath should be on each petition page of signatures. And again, I'm looking at all sorts of petitions here that have nothing on it. And, you know, no speech, no, like this one, you know, it's, they're just all over the place and no certification. I mean, when it was submitted to our clerk of courts, we've got her signature all over the place because she's got on every page, our county clerk, sorry. It's been a long day. Yes, she's got it all over. And again, I'm looking through and I'm like, this is one of the things that we talked about when this came before us the last time was, here are the rules. If a preponderance of people around the lake say, we want a riparian district, whether that is by acreage or whether it is by number, we will listen and we will pay attention to it. We talked about the need for a budget instead of, and that during the informational meetings that we suggested everybody be well informed about, we said, have that information, get quotes. This is how much it would cost if we were going to do chemical stuff. And then people can talk about whether they want chemical stuff and how much it would cost. This is how much it would cost if we did a weed cutter. This is how much it would cost if we did scuba divers. You know, if I'm getting work done at my house, I'm getting multiple quotes, right? We're not just going to call up the first person and get it done. So in order to start something like this, you get a bunch of quotes and you start talking to people and you say, if we do this and we establish this district with this map, this is approximately how much you are going to have to pay this year. This is how much you're going to have to pay if we do this much. You know, this project. Gosh, we've got this dam that nobody knows who owns it. We have no idea who is going to maintain it. And quite frankly, we don't even know how it needs to be maintained. Does the whole thing have to be torn down? Does it have to be completely rebuilt? Does it have to be, you know, is the village and the town going to come back, or is the town going to come back and say, well, it's now village, it's flipping back and forth. You know, are they going to come back and take responsibility and say, yeah, we worked on this 12 years ago, so our fingerprints are on this, so we're going to take care of this for you? That would be great. But will they? We have there's no documentation for that. Again, I'm seeing that this has made a lot of progress since the last time we saw this. It has, you know, there have been actual signatures with documentation and it seems a little more clear, but I'm not seeing what is legally required for us to really consider it. And I'm hearing a lot of confusion as far as what exactly people signed. As Supervisor Brown said, when we do our signatures to get on the ballot, well, you said it, yeah. You know, when we do our signatures to get on the ballot, we have to have every little piece of information correct. You know, whether it is that we write out a number, you know, 5 is FIVE versus the numeral, or whether it's that the zip code has to be in the right spot. Everything has to be done exactly properly or the entire page is gone. Not just one signature gone, the entire page is not valid. And so I guess I would say that at this point, I'm not comfortable looking at this or recommending this. I will wait for more discussion, but I would think this needs to, again, go back, have the well-publicized meetings. You know, we asked before this meeting, at the very beginning of this meeting, you may have, you know, people may not have been paying attention, but we asked, where was this published? We have to legally publish this. We publish it on our website. We publish it in the paper. The information goes out all over the place so that people can be informed. Here is when the meeting is. Here's where the meeting is. Some of you saw some of us out in the hallways catching people saying, the meeting's now around the corner because we had too many people for that particular room. So we were sending people and making sure that people knew where things were. I kind of want to hear that. When I'm hearing that people signed documents, not understanding that it was a binding legal document, that makes me very concerned. And as you said, if they said, I didn't understand that, but they signed it underneath a paragraph that said X, Y, Z, and then I would say you didn't read before you signed in. But I'm not seeing that. I'm not hearing that. I'm hearing a lot of confusion. And what I would like to see is more meetings where people are actually having conversation. What I am hearing tonight is that there's a lot of people here who love the lake. And there's a lot of people who want the lake to be improved. To be very frank, I'm hearing a little bit of, the lake properties are more important than the channel properties, but the channel properties are a little, they're important to get in because we needed those numbers. And you needed those numbers partly because we said, hey, you can't create a district without including and paying attention to the channel. So, the former therapist in me would like you all to go back and have some discussions and use some I statements and talk about what are the goals and how are you going to accomplish these things in a way that is good for all of you. And I don't think that today is probably the day for that, but I'm going to wait for more discussion.
And just another thing about the lake districts, I think that the folks that are here that are part of the lake districts, Salt Lake and the other things around, have the experience and the knowledge and understanding of what happens. Basically, when the lake district gets formed, it's appointed by the county executive. It's not handpicked by any, lake district members that, oh yes, this person is the lake district. So I think it's a very fair process. And you did say it's a very democratic process, and I believe that, and I know that because I live it, we see it, and that's what happens. And we, as the board up here, actually appoint, we confirm the appointments of the county executive for the folks at Powers Lake, Silver Lake, and the other thing for districts. So we're well aware of what a lake district is, how it gets formed, how it gets appointed, and stuff like that. Generally speaking, I think it's a good process because it should bring everybody together. And then when the lake district is formed and it's properly operated, the folks that are running it, it's a very open process of people on the lake get to decide, or whoever is in the district get to decide what's happening. It's not the board members. The board members bring recommendations forward, but ultimately it's the people that are in the district that decide what the budget is, what they spend the money on, how they want to do it, all that stuff. And tax rate is. So it's a majority rules thing once the bills get formed. So, but I think just like the other board members here, I think there's some questions on the petitions and the numbers, everything that are preventing me from saying, yes, this is good, and I can recommend it down.
One more comment that I want to make based on what Supervisor Robinson said about people not being informed or people not knowing about meetings, is people being excluded from meetings. I just want to reiterate that currently you're not a lake district, but when you are subject to open meetings laws and open records laws. So you can't have closed door meetings. You can't hide documents from the people because of you're a legally established commission that is subject to open records laws. I just want to let you guys know that. Let's make a motion. I won't be here. Oh, okay. I would like to make a motion to approve resolution. I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me here.
It is, it's a bizarre process.
Yeah, that's fine.
Technically, under the statute, the committee is supposed to report to the board.
Yes, that was my video also. We have to report to the board within 3 months, which means that the video says like explaining, not just reporting, but explaining live how we came to this decision with notes and things like that. And then the board has to take it up in 6 months. And either approve it or disapprove it. It doesn't just die here. The full board has to either approve it or disapprove it based on our report. So I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution for the formation of a Rock Lake Management District within Kenosha County pursuant to Wisconsin State Statutes 33.25. Yeah, you don't want to do a negative motion, that just makes it messy. But knowing that I will be voting against the motion.
Oh, in order to discuss. Second, for purpose of discussion.
No, you need to.
No.
In order to fail it, vote.
Yeah.
No.
No. Okay, so we have a motion
Oh, yeah.
from Supervisor Becker, and a second from Supervisor Robinson.
No.
And
We took a roll call vote last time.
okay, so we're gonna have for a roll call vote. Dick, I'm not gonna start with you ladies, I'm going to start with Supervisor Carroll.
Hey.
Supervisor Becker votes nay.
Robinson, nay.
Person name.
Brookhouse, yes.
Brown, nay. So the motion fails 1-2. I'm sorry, ladies, now I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna ask you. Okay. Booker and Meg. Thank you. So it's been a motion to take this.
On to item number 5, which is UW 2025 presentation.
Just one thing now, because Supervisor Decker, we do have requirements, right? That, so that you just explained, that we have to take it up within 3 months and then the full board needs to be. So it is going to go to the county board, or is it going to go here? Just curious on the process here.
That's an excellent question, and I will work on getting you.
Okay.
My understanding from the video is the chair of the committee had to report to the county board, which the administration writes a report. And then you report to the county board, and the county board has to vote on it in 6 months. Yeah, it's okay. What? Of course.
Go for it. That's our pilot. Yeah, I feel.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations. It just means more work than that. I did that. We had
She disapproved this one. She approved this one, and I used to say, like, hers was like too. And, she said, not original.
So we're close. Starting cost. I feel like I would find you guys clearing and, yes. I'm glad that they did.
Well,
Yeah.
I think she just put it in, waiting for the paper and yeah, it's not.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Yeah.
Reggie.
I know.
Let's double check it works. Oh, yeah. Oh, you gotta turn it on. Oh, on the side.
We did.
Which one am I pointing at?
Remember that? Oh, sure.
You should just be able to look at.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Not going.
That-
Oh, he does.
So I need to point at you. I was pointing over there.
No, you should be able to just go
Oh,
either
either
way.
way.
Yeah, no, it was decided to just freeze because I hadn't used it for a while, so.
I feel like you should.
Oh, you say you're like, right.
She disappears.
Actually, we're.
Was this coming? And that's what I said, really want to make sure. Because when you came in late, Aaron and I were looking at each other's notes, and we're like, oh my gosh, it's kind of safe.
Good job. Did not have the time.
We're gonna have to keep this moving. I'm very sorry about the late meeting. Pam's report said this is the first time this has happened to you as a group, so. And so that you guys added to the agenda tonight. So, all right. Let me turn over you.
Oh, thank you so much. We like to once a year, once a year, we like to come in front of all of you and share highlights since, we had, we wrapped up December 2025. And so every educator will take a moment tonight to share with you some highlights. So before I pass it over to our educators, we always like to ground yourselves in what extension is, and especially if it's maybe the first time you're hearing me the second time about the Wisconsin idea, and that is what extension is. We bring the Wisconsin idea to life, and we do that by bringing the resources and the research from the university into the community, and that's what the educators do. So, and we address both the statewide and national needs that way. So this has been a partnership that's been going on for many years, over 100 years, as you can see. It's triangular in that it's the county, UW, and USDA. And so we are an educational resource throughout the county. So actual county departments and divisions, municipalities, coalitions, nonprofits, et cetera, so organizations throughout the community. And that the county does pay a portion of the educator's salary and fringe, also graciously provides office space and technology for us to use. And in return, UW-Madison Division of Extension pays the remainder of fringe and benefits, provides access to research to specialists. For instance, on Monday, the county clerk and our local government specialist and I met to plan for new supervisor orientation, and that he comes down and the county doesn't pay a fee for him to come in and be involved in orientation. So kind of get an idea for that. That's what I mean by specialist and statewide network resources. So as we look at 2025, some of the numbers, and those are not all of them, are on the left-hand column, but I'm going to focus first on the inside, that visual of the 6 different institutes that we have. We have 2 educators in our Agriculture Institute. We have 1 educator in community development. We have 1 plus 3 or 2 food-wise educators for health, or 2, food-wise educators for health and well-being. We have 1 human development and relationship educator, and no natural resources educators, and 2 positive youth development educators, which we call PYD for short, because that's quite long. Highlights, you can see numbers. I won't read through them all. You'll also get some of those in your annual report when we put that together. But just letting you know that we do track our data ourselves. And this is a snapshot of who we are. It is not everything that we are. And so we also focus on what we do in the community and the impacts we make in the community. We will only focus on highlights versus plans of work for this year. So highlights from last year. And we'll pass it first off to community development educator, Savannah.
Hello, everybody. I was told that I could only speak for 37 seconds, so we can get you all out today.
So I was super busy this year, so super excited to see. As you can tell, I like to present only in black, which is why I'm wearing black here today. So entrepreneurship wise, it was a really exciting year for that. Focused a lot about that in the earlier part of the year. So we officially launched our business lifecycle resource page, which is housed on our extension page, which is for entrepreneurs at any point in the business lifecycle. So from starting, maintaining, or succeeding a business. So super duper cool. I highly recommend checking it out. Really great group of people put that together. And I also worked with the library in Kenosha on doing a small business lunch and learn series. So we looked at the power of video marketing, we looked at access to capital, and we looked at pricing for small businesses. Next, I did a downtown appeal survey with Visit Kenosha. So this was a request from the mayor, and we worked on seeing how our kind of college students, all of our different college students, how they interacted with downtown. So they're really trying to use that data that we collected to try and get more exciting stuff happening downtown to get our college students more involved. And I just actually spoke with them not too long ago, and it seems like the data is getting used. So very, very exciting on that. The Kenosha County Housing Task Force, this is where a lot of my effort goes right now. Very, very exciting. So we started this year with doing action planning for all of our working groups. So that would be our promotions group, our planning, zoning, and design standards group, and our financial group. Walked all of them through that so we could come up with action plans on things to do. Then we also had a large task force meeting, so that top picture right there, where we brought a lot of really awesome people in, kind of talked about what our game plan was moving forward. So one of those big first action items that we got is we now do have a website where our housing task force information is housed. And we're also working on creating fact sheets. So we have a good amount of those coming out. So lots of exciting stuff. Right now, we have the state of Kenosha County that's going to be put out hopefully soon, but we do have it creating it towards the end of last year. Also one on what our task force is. And then also, as Pam was talking about specialists earlier, we did bring one in for the housing task force. We brought somebody down from the Center of Land Use Education at Stevens Point, and we worked with a lot of our local municipalities on looking at what zoning would look like for residential areas throughout the county, which is that other top picture up there. So I'm also working on regional housing summit planning. I do think you all should have gotten an email from me not too long ago about our summit that we are putting on in May. So we started planning that earlier in June, so that's been a long process. Still taking up a lot of my time, but very, very excited to see those results. Lots of really awesome people who are going to be there. I've also done some strategic planning with the Friends of the Prairie Parks Foundation. So I've been doing a lot of really cool, interesting stuff with them, and they were so happy with what I did last year. They ended up coming back to me this year, so we revised that plan. And I also work as both the secretary on the steering committee and the media chair for our Future Leaders in Kenosha, which is a young professionals group. So if you know any young professionals in the community who are looking to get more involved or might not know people who are around their age, please send them my way. We've done a lot of really awesome stuff. This launched last April, so we're actually planning our 1-year anniversary right now. But we do a lot of really awesome activities, and we also do a lot of building brews. So in the morning or at night, just kind of low-key networking activities, either over coffee or other group beverages. I also got a lot of really, really awesome opportunities this year to speak. So I started out the year speaking at one of the temple luncheons. I also got to see a lot of your lovely faces at the Council of Governments meeting. And I also got to speak on the LEADA panel this year, which was a statewide housing conference talking about our task force and some of the awesome tools we've created. And then I also got to attend a bunch of awesome conferences, but I'm going to pass it on and I will talk more about that off the record if you guys want to hear about later.
Well, speaking of awesome though, before I click to the next slide, I am so proud of Savannah and all the work she's done. And so is Kava because she received the Future Fund Award in February. So very exciting and congratulations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate all your support.
So appreciate that. Yes, Alana is next. Yes.
Good evening. So I joined Human Development and Relationships Institute in February of last year. So first couple of months, there was a lot of onboarding and training of that sort. But while doing that, I was able to start creating partnerships with some of our community partners. And so one that I'd like to highlight is Rent Smart. This is a 6-session series that helps participants be prepared to successfully create a budget, locate, maintain safe and affordable rentals. And so this one I've been able to do virtually for last year. We did start working on a in-person session for Kenosha County. And so the outreach began in 2025. And then right now we are halfway through our first session at the Kenosha Public Library, the North Side location. And then, with the virtual, I believe there was 4 different opportunities, so it's something we offer every month virtually. We try to meet people's schedules where they're at, so we offer at different times, different days of the week. So each month it will be offered at a different time, different day. The second, budgeting and crediting, workshops, so these are one-time workshops that I've been offering, with some of our community partners, like, the Family Self-Sufficiency Program with the Housing Authority, also with the Elevate program, and then, who's the other one? I'm sorry, I'm trying to, I'm past my bedtime.
Got that.
So those are the 2 main programs that we're offering the one-time workshops with quarterly. So we focus on budgeting, credit and debt, and then also looking at financial institutions. I'm really looking at brick and mortar versus some of the neobanks and how those are different for people that maybe are underbanked or learning for the first time what is FDIC insured, what is an NCUA insurance versus some of those neobanks that don't have it, so that they can be armed with that knowledge, so they know that what they're doing and have best possible outcomes. Another program would be the one-on-one financial coaching. So this is something that I really have found very valuable with program partners, having referrals from some different program partners like the Sharing Center and the Family Self-Sufficiency Program. Also, Habitat for Humanity and Elevate. So I can work one-on-one with members of the community, and I offer this service in person through Zoom, over the phone, and then I've also been offering evening hours and then Saturday hours because not everyone works Monday through Friday or 9 to 5. So trying to be flexible in meeting our community where they're at so their needs can be met. And the slide that you see there is Money Matters, and so that's a self-directed online course that we offer through our website. It takes about 20 to 30 minutes to complete a module, and we offer 13 different modules, and 5 of them are also offered in Spanish. And this is something I often will ask a potential client to look at before we meet so that they can choose a module. And this helps them narrow in on what their financial goals are so that when they meet with us or with me, that we have somewhere to start from. And so this is just an infographic on some of the successes that we and the feedback we've received from that program for Kenosha County. Let's see, where else are we at? Community partners, I think I covered Sharing Center, Family Self-Sufficiency. Habitat for Humanity also uses the Money Matters online program, and we also are offering it live version. So once a month, we offer it at 10 o'clock in the morning and then again at 6:30 at night. And one of the things I really appreciate about this for Habitat for Humanity is, so families that are involved in this, they get to choose this as one of their sweat equity hours. So then when they're putting in their hours to prepare for that new home, financial literacy is one of those options that is getting worked on.
Is it virtual?
The live version, yes, it's virtual. So there's, I have colleagues throughout the state that we all take turns. So there's usually 2 colleagues for each session. And then, let's see, so Kenosha Public Library has been a great partner for delivering in-person programming. They've been awesome at getting the word out, and we've had a lot of positive feedback. Some of the programs that we've been working on this year that we started doing the outreach last year. And then West Osha Head Start, when I worked with, this is another program that I started working with them quarterly. One of the things that we found when we were looking at unmet needs for the families was they were requesting information about estate planning. And so that is another program that I've been working on called Planning Ahead, which is a legacy or end-of-life planning. It's designed to be taught in a series or independently. So there's 7 sessions in total. What I was able to do is take one of those sessions called estate planning and then offer it to be taught virtually. So it covered West Osha and Jefferson County Head Start parents. And one of the valuable things I think about estate planning for parents of children with minor children is that the importance of having a will, because if they were to pass on without having a will is the only way you can really state who you want as a guardian if need be. Unfortunately, it happens. Hopefully, not very often, but it's, and also that Wisconsin is not an exigent state. So looking at that is really important to us, especially for parents of minor children. And then our last one, community impact programs. So foster parents, I was able to do a virtual workshop with parents and highlighting our Money As You Grow program. So this works with children ages 3 to 14, and it helps them start conversations with parents about financial literacy. And it's a program that we offer so that the books that are highlighted, we have created guides for to talk with the children and activities to follow up with these books. And the books in particular are offered in all the public libraries throughout the state. So it's a free resource. And then we've also offered videos of educators reading the books online so that there's different ways of connecting families to that resource. That's a quick start in that really that quick of time, but thank you.
Thank you.
Just really quick, as the increase of users, have you seen the exponential increase at all, or are you able to keep up with the pace? Or, I mean, it seems like this is something that you have a lot of people interested in.
So, yeah, no, I've been seeing an increase, definitely. And as the word gets out and feedback keeps coming, it's positive feedback. And so I have to strategically plan so that we have enough time to make everyone where they're at. So it's something I'm learning, like, yes, we're getting the word out there and now the word is out there. And so planning that so that we can deliver the programming with the quality that we're at the
Hopefully the online stuff or some of the self-help type of things, you know, gets people down the trail a little bit more, and then they're more of a resource than just direct, as opposed to, you know, spending a lot of time one-on-one, on ground.
And the one-on-one is usually about 30 minutes. And it's designed where we work with them 4 to 6 sessions. So it's not, there's not an end in sight. It's usually designed for about 4 to 6 sessions, and that the goals at that point that there's transformative growth. So they recognize how they can meet these goals. It's more about drawing that part of them out where they didn't realize, like, I have the tools, I just didn't see it before. So it's different than therapy, it's different than mentoring. It's really helping them find that transformation in themselves.
Hello, everyone. Last year, we wrapped up with the planting of the arboretum. We have more than 250 trees here and 45 genus, 55 species. So currently this arboretum is not only serving as a living classroom, but also as a research lab. So for me, as a research person, to me, this arboretum is right now serving to collect data, how these trees are performing in this changing climatic conditions. How do we recommend to the future urban foresters, community growers, community members, nursery growers, what trees are better, can withstand our changing climate conditions? So that is the whole purpose of it. So planning on getting some more data in the next few years and trying to publish those data as well too. The second popular one is the blueberries one. We've been successfully growing blueberries here in raised beds, and we've been testing about 12 different varieties. And one of the interesting things that I found out is that the media dictates the quality of those blueberries too. So what you're growing blueberries naturally in ground will be a little bit different in terms of taste and performance if you're growing them in a soilless media in a raised bed. One of the varieties that performed outstandingly well was Chandler. This is a plant of the blueberry out of it yielded one plant, yielded in about 3 years, 7 pounds. That's incredible. So I think there is a more potential for us actually to grow and market blueberries in southeast part of Wisconsin, especially having Chicago. You know, it's a huge marketing place. So I'm going to leave it to Andrew to expand further that. The third type of research trial I'm doing is a sweet potato variety trial. Again, the goal is that sweet potato is one of those richest vegetable crops in antioxidant. So I'm trying to explore about 25 different varieties, which variety performs very well in a raised bed situation so that the homeowners can able to grow them in the backyard. So the other research I'm doing is in partnership with our turf grass research specialist in Madison. So a lot of times, many homeowners, really want to attract bees in their lawn and be more pollinator friendly. So we are trying to figure out what type of bee lawn mix performs very well in Wisconsin conditions. And so some of the promising one on the photograph on the bottom right is a very dwarf yarrow. It's about like 6 to 8 inches, and late in the summertime it blooms. And we came to know that this particular plant actually also attracts some pollinators as well and can also generate traffic. So again, we are still in the preliminary side. We collected only data for 1 year. So hoping the next 2 years we can get some more data and can publish those as well. So those are some of the research projects that I'm working right now up until last year. And in terms of teaching, I've been partnering with the Kenosha Public Library. I've been starting a program called Garden for Beginners. It's a 10-month program, started in January, wrapped up in October. On average, every month, I get about like 25 people participate in my program. So it was nice. And I also serve as a panelist in the Ask the Expert Landscape and Gardening program. Every month, we get about like 150 to 200 people joining this, statewide call, and we've been answering some other calls related to horticulture and garden programs as well. Last year I published a publication called Bare Tree Planting, and and it is on the state horticulture website right now. And this is to explain the homeowners, okay, instead of buying a big walnut burlap or a container one, it is much easier to grow on plant them, using a bare trees. How to plant those bare trees. That's all about this publication. Currently, I'm also serving as an advisor for the statewide organization called the Wisconsin Arborist Association. That's the association that also, dictates and recommends, the certification process for the arborists as well too.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Let me check. Did I miss you, Ann? Do you think I did? I think I double clicked. Yes, I did, because I knew I had the two of you together. All right. Sorry about that, Ann.
Evening. So 2025 was my first full year here at Extension in Kenosha County. And so in 2024, when I began, we all start out with a needs assessment with our growers. And so based on the needs assessment from 2024, I identified that growers were interested in foundational resources. For the most part, we have had a gap between when the last agriculture educator was here and when I came in, and then I came in as a slightly different role. And so there was that gap in having someone here. And so foundational resources seems to be across the state for the scale of growers that I work with. I predominantly work with direct market vegetable growers, and also I'm with the emerging crops program, which we'll talk about here in a second. So Extension doesn't have a lot of resources for this scale of grower. We have a lot for the home gardener, and we also have a lot for these large row croppers processing vegetable farms. And so our team for the past year and continuing on is creating more resources that are specific to this level of grower, because there are different stipulations as far as nutrient management goes and soil health, productivity. And so we are creating an insect disease guides we are creating as well to offer to our growers of that scale. And so this past year, we did a few scouting workshops in disease and pest management. And then also an interest in the needs assessment was season extension. And so I did one high tunnel workshop here in Southeast Wisconsin. I did a few further out in the state because people are interested in that season extension, which is a different growing environment. So it takes into account different kinds of diseases, different pests, different ways to irrigate. And we're creating resources on that as well. I also hosted the training and proctored exams for the private pesticide applicator training that goes through that half of the state. We have our pesticide applicator program through Extension, and they offer a Zoom, it's going to be here next Tuesday, I believe, a live Zoom session
there's a couple of different options for growers and folks that want to be certified to use restricted use pesticides. And so it's a live Zoom session, folks can come, it's about 4 hours, and then they take a test. And so if they don't come at that time, there's a couple other options that they can use to study, but they can also, they always call me and they come and I proctor the test with them and send it in. So we have a good number of growers that it's required to be out every 5 years. So we do that here, and so throughout the year, proctor tests on that. As far as the emerging crops program, I began a honeyberry research trial here in southeast Wisconsin, right across the border into Racine, but it's very short. So honeyberries, if you're not familiar with them, they're kind of like a blueberry. Like BJ said, this Chandler variety works very well here, but honeyberries, they fruit a lot earlier than blueberries do, and they look a little bit like a blueberry. It's kind of like an elongated blueberry, and they have a taste that's kind of like blueberry raspberry, but they grow very well in Wisconsin. Their roots will withstand 40 degrees below zero. The flower will stand 20 degrees.
Wow.
The only drawback is the birds love them, and so they do have to be netted if you want to protect them a little bit. But we have a trial going on. This will be the 2nd year to see how well, I think we have 10 varieties growing, how well these varieties do in this part of Wisconsin. We have other research trials on honeyberries up at Sturgeon Bay in Madison and up in Spooner as well. I did apply for some external funding for a few projects. Wisconsin School for Beginning Market Growers to be an online course. It was for over 20 years. It was offered in Madison as an in-person course, basically going from farm planning all the way through marketing for direct market growers. Around COVID time, it kind of fizzled out, and so we are redoing it as an online course. In addition, some immersion berry campus courses as well, which will outline production and how to grow these. That'll be available at all times so people can take them and learn more. Enterprise budgets for small berry crops, and then some honeyberry outreach events. And the last thing, in the needs assessment, one thing that was needed as well is in southeast Wisconsin, we don't have a lot of milk growers, and they needed requested resources in their language. And so we created that population uses social media, and so there's a Facebook group that they use, and so that's a good way for us to relay information, research information. And so I created this bug of the week. And so it was worked with some of our communications people on campus, and it's gotten some really great feedback.
Cool. I have a question about the pesticide. Just so how do they know they have, like, how do they know they have to take the test? Or like, can I just not buy that pesticide?
So it's strictly to be certified to use restricted use pesticides, and those aren't available like at Home Depot or Lowe's. Those you have to go to a special place to get them.
And they know if you're certified or not?
Yes, they will get the list.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
And can you just mention about the thing that's gonna be happening where you're working with Paul?
Yep. So another thing that came out of needs assessment is nutrient management planning. And so counties will provide opportunities to go through nutrient management planning. Extension has a program called SNAP Plus. And so it goes through, it'll walk farmers through what they're growing, where your water is coming from, what your inputs are, if you're spreading manure and things like that. And so it goes through based on your crop and your area, what kind of nutrients your crops need. And so Connection County has one nutrient management plan maybe on the books so far. Other counties have hundreds of them. And so we're working with Paul to put on a nutrient management kind of 101 workshop, basically to highlight the benefits of why this is a good idea to have this nutrient management plan in place. And so working with Paul and DACCAP and our nutrient management staff colleagues with extension, it'll be April 9th in Paris.
That's great to hear from Land and Water. I'm thrilled.
Yeah.
What's the fee to get certified in pesticide?
You have to buy a manual. The manual, I believe, is $40, and then it's $10 to take the test. If you take it in person, the state offers an online option to take the test through an online proctoring system, and that's like $45. But it lasts 5 years.
Thanks.
Are honeyberries the type of thing that you can get now, like just?
Not yet, so.
Okay, that part of them, like, ooh, that sounds really.
Right, so part of our emerging crops program is also getting awareness out there. So we have, these great things that we can grow, but, and they grow well, but if nobody knows what they are, to buy them. And so part of our program is that marketing piece as well, and that full supply chain development. And so as these, the one on the left side there, that's one of the honeyberry plants in the trial, as they start to have enough to harvest, we'll be able to have workshops where we can show here, try them. Because there's a couple of fairly large scale growers in the western part of the state, and they'll sell to wineries and distilleries, jams, jellies, syrups, things like that.
I can see young Liz.
I was gonna say,
No,
yeah,
I can see
I was looking
DJ out there pruning them and growing the roots and, come on, get on it.
We have some.
Yeah, so we have a 5 different varieties here. So start by around mid to late May.
Yes.
You can sample some of those honeyberries and give us your opinion.
Oh, totally.
I would still say, blueberry is much tastier than honeyberries. Honeyberry, I might disagree on that.
So we're a few years out from from regular consumers being able to buy these plants, is what I'm hearing.
The plants you can buy.
Oh, where, okay, so.
You can, most nurseries.
I've never heard.
They are still, some of the nurseries, they still don't have the honeyberries one. Maybe we can check. But July 28th, we are hosting Blueberry Fest actually in Kenosha County Center. And we are actually distributing some honeyberries and blueberry plants at a reasonable price. So
Make sure you add this committee to your email list.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
that
Pam,
sounds
we're
really
holding
interesting.
person accountable.
yeah, this is the first time we are going to host the Blueberry Fest, so we would love to have you guys for the first actually. And also get to learn more about
What'd you
blueberry
say,
honey.
July when?
July 28th.
Okay.
July is a month of blueberries. So, yeah, National Blueberry Month.
Well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tuesday.
Good evening. Most of you probably know what 4-H is, but in case you don't, it's a positive, project-based education and positive youth development. We have kids from K-5 through 1 year past high school. Our K-5 through second grade are called Cloverbuds, and we have 111 of them this year. So hopefully they will continue, but altogether, you can see 596 youths and 129 volunteers. We have 8 community clubs. Everyone has to belong to at least one club and at least one project. And most people think of all animals with 4-H, but we also have photography projects, food, sewing, archery, shooting sports, all kinds of things. This 2025 was a year of trying new things. And so I just highlighted a few of them that we did. Because we cannot live without volunteers, we wanted to treat them especially kind and have a volunteer summit for them. And so it was here at the KCC. We had a keynote speaker and we had 8 different classes that they could take. We had breakfast and lunch for them and some gifts. I got very positive feedback, so much to the point they asked if we'd have it every year. So May 2nd, we're going to do another one, and this is in collaboration with my educator in Racine County as well. But that was a great event, a new event. Typical, we had overnight camps in Upland Woods in Wisconsin Dells at their 4-H camp.
And then we had, day camps at our local parks around here. You can see on the upper right-hand corner, those kids are at Hawthorne Hollow catching frogs. And it was just a great experience for them to learn about amphibians and frogs. Hawthorne Hollow puts on a very wonderful day camp experience. I would highly recommend them. And then I'm just gonna touch on the fair. We always say 4-H isn't the fair, but without 4-H, the fair wouldn't be very much to see, to go to. So we do have a good partnership with them. The kids get all kinds of skills and opportunities to, you know, practice, like I have their responsibility and teamwork and sportsmanship. One thing I wanted to touch on is this year, we started, and I cannot take credit when I say we, I mean all of 4-H. The Swine Project came up with a new program called Pig Pals. And as far as I know, it's only been done at one other fair in Wisconsin. And this was all started because of one junior member of the Swine Project, which has 82 people in it this year. Pig Pals was where they match up people with disabilities with 4-H kids from the Swine Project. They're their pals. That's where that comes from. The visitors come to the fair, the kids to teach them about swine, let them help take care of the swine within their pens. And then they teach them how to show a pig. And so we actually have an event where the stands were pretty full of people, and the all of the 4-H kids and the guests work on showing their pig together, and they get you know, ribbons, and it's just a really good time. They get t-shirts, so that was really special. That went also very well, so I think they're going to do that again this year. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on was our Festival of Trees. I think Guida, you attended that. So that was the first this year. We had each project decorate a tree in the theme of their project. So we had a dairy tree, a sewing tree, etc. And then the clubs also provided activities, cocoa, cookies, Santa for the guests. What was really neat is we got to work with community partners. They were very good at advertising for us and working together. It was actually pretty surprising. Typically, schools are a little hesitant to send out material because then they have to do it for everyone, but they did do a lot of advertising for us. Municipalities, Executive Bergman had it on her radio show in the morning. So it was a great event. We had 422 people attend. And again, we'll try it again this year, perhaps if this building isn't being remodeled at the time. So those were some of our new activities, and great kids.
Thank you. And before I go to the next slide, I also want to give a shout out to Carolyn, who will be receiving next month an Excellence in Volunteerism Award from the National Association. Well, this was the Wisconsin Association for Extension Professionals, 4-H Youth Development Professionals. So really excited for all of the
For the state 4-H impact report. So Kenosha County 4-H will be on some nice advertising for the state as well.
Yay.
Hello everyone, it's good to see you. So yeah, last year was my second year in the role, so had done a great first year of learning the program, understanding dynamics and how to collaborate with different community partners. And I think 2025 really kickstarted some really cool stuff that I'm very proud of. Something that really took off in 2025 was college and career access with Extension in Kenosha County. So one major effort I helped support was an undergraduate graduate intern visit with our grant site partners from North Carolina, and they came and spoke to Bullen Middle School. It was about 30 middle schoolers, and then they also did a panel at Bradford High School, and there was about 200 youth in attendance there. So that was really great. For the middle school activity, they did like a social and emotional learning program, because that's gonna be expressed by, the partner I was working with at the time. And yeah, for high school, it was just more of an introduction to college life, talking about diverse pathways and maybe some untraditional college journeys, which I think is important to highlight. But yeah, so that was really great. And then we also organized a UW-Madison campus visit. So in that previous fall, we had taken them to Marquette University, but the youth really expressed to me, hey, we want to visit Madison. I think a lot of kids are interested in Madison and Wisconsin. So I partnered with the Racine County educator, and I brought 26 youth and she brought about 25 herself. So we had 50 youth there. They met with the student organization, learned about campus life and how to access college resources, because it's not just about visiting campuses and learning about them, but it's also about learning how to navigate those student services so that they're able to be successful once they get there and form those relationships. So that was really great to meet with the student group in the morning, and then they had a tour in the afternoon, and also got like a financial information session. And then in December, we had about 15 youth from Kenosha attend the 4-H Wisconsin Herd. So I do fall under 4-H as well, and that was really great to have youth from our county participate in a state event like this. I collaborated with other educators in Racine, Waukesha, and Milwaukee, and yeah, we just supported their attendance. It's like the NPHE League. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar, but that helps support relationship building. And we're also building on like career access, like introducing them to roles related to like marketing, game day management, professional sports, because a lot of people have aspirations to be professional athletes. So, you know, making sure they're connecting that to pathways that are tangible for them. Something else I helped support was the Youth Mental Health Curriculum Jam. So that was a statewide effort, and we collaborated with other extensions across the nation. So we had educators from Georgia, Hawaii, Minnesota, and California. And I was a co-facilitator, so just kind of help facilitate meetings, support people doing research, and yeah, we are currently drafting like the list of resources. So that process is where we research different curriculums available, see if they fit kind of our youth development model, which is community close or like after school and school programming. And there's just been a really big need expressed by Wisconsin youth around mental health. I think it's really been a struggle after the pandemic, and yeah, there's not a lot of resources available to support. So that was really cool to be a part of that. Another major effort I participated in was the Youth as Partners in Civic Leadership Conference. This is an annual event hosted at Upland Woods. It's been going on for 20 years. I attended last year, 2024, as my first time. And for 2025, I was invited to be one of the main speakers. One of the components is the group action plan. So yeah, so based on what I had observed in 2024, I made some major adjustments. The youth weren't really, so the group action plan is a plan for youth to come up while at Upland Woods, and then they take it back to their local community. So at the conference, like we develop their leadership skills and just kind of like support their personal mission as a group. Like they already come with an identity, they already have a purpose, but this is just really a space for them to gather with other youth from across the state. So for example, like I think the Wisconsin Farmers Youth Association from like up north was there. So the youth that attended from Kenosha County were youth I support in college and career pathway access, and also youth as resources. So yeah, it was super cool. I got to support them, and like the title of my presentation was called Dreaming and Building the World We Want. So it was just kind of building on like the personal storytelling narratives, making sure to take action and just like feeling empowered in their role. So it was really well received. I had like a video creation component because previous models were like newspaper or Instagram posts, and that's not super relevant to the kids anymore. Like they're making TikToks, and that's how they get their information, right? Is through watching videos. So I had them create a video that like described their action plan, and they had a blast with it. Like they're like, "Whoa, can we actually like go back and do this?" So the first year I hadn't really heard that from the youth. Like they weren't really excited, they didn't understand the purpose, but we had over 100 youth at this conference, which was a big jump from the previous year. So I also helped support those efforts as part of the planning committee. So it was just a really cool experience. And they also get to do other activities like they did like a night hike. They got to go like on a boat ride and like hike around an island. And yeah, just do like recreational activities. So it's a cool space. Yes, and then youth and governance, we welcomed 15 new members. We retained one previous EA member from the previous year. We had our annual bus tour. It was very successful. We had positive feedback about the day. So looking forward to planning that again with our county partners. And the service project is optional. I made sure to emphasize that throughout the time. I would say Timothy has really been leading the charge around the service project. He said he was really interested in serving the homeless community in Kenosha. So I helped organize guest speaker from the Shalom Center, Wendy Cross, and she kind of just shared like about the needs of the county and what could be helpful to make a positive impact. And so right now these 3 gig boys, Timothy, Ethan, and Andrew are planning a hygiene drive. So it's going pretty well so far. I'm sure you'll hear an update in a couple months at the end of their term. But yeah, so it's been really great supporting them and their leadership, planning, execution. They've really taken on a very manageable project, and I think they're executing it well and learning a lot of skills in the process, especially like regarding outreach and communication. Yes, and then youth as resources. So we had 2 outreach events last year. One was in March at Carolyn's Volunteer Summit. So we had youth who attended it, and we had 2 youth actually who promoted the YAR grant and board membership opportunity. And then we also, I invited the youth as resources to join me at the Kenosha County Fair. And in 2024, we only had 1 youth who showed up, but this year we had 8 out of 9. So that was really cool. So they're just like super involved in they followed through on their tasks, which has been really exciting to see. Like they're very passionate about like the goals they set and the efforts they're doing. So yeah, it's just cool to see. We have 7 new YAR members. When I first started, for the 24-25 year, I had implemented like grant outreach contacts. Like it's really important for the youth to do outreach themselves. They said they had done it in the past, and it like translated to receiving application. So between the spring and fall, like we had a total of 30 grant outreach contacts where the youth or myself were like reaching out directly to people. This number is probably a little larger because the youth might not document or like they're like putting it under blood when really they talk to like 10 people. So I think that's really awesome. And then yeah, between the 2 years we've awarded $4,000, which is really great. We're allotted $5,000. So for the 24-25 year, we were a little under, but it's been a strong year. And we've also had 3 guest speakers where they just share more about career pathways, their educational journey, and they're also leaders in Kenosha County. And then in the bottom right corner on the left side is Nari. She was one of the YAR youth who attended Purpose and Civic Leadership. So she took on some big roles too. She like did the video and camera like recording for the weekend, so she has like a blast day that she's like on the weekend committee at, Youth as Resources, so yeah, it's just cool to see them get involved in other extension programming and yeah, just really show off their leadership skills. Thank you.
Thank you.
So. Good evening, I'm with Foodwise. I've actually been with Kenosha Foodwise since October. But I was previously with and still now with Waukesha County Foodwise for 15 years. So I know Foodwise quite well. Kenosha is new to me. So in the past year, we had 1,114 participants between our two federal grants. So we are federally funded to reach limited income audiences with mostly series of nutrition lessons. So a lot of those involve food prep and sampling activities. We go into classrooms, we go into a variety of different community organizations, and we reach preschoolers all the way through senior citizens with nutrition lessons. So we had 1,114 participants, 811 of those were SNAP-Ed, which is one of our federal grants, and then 303 were SNAP. So SNAP in SNAP-Ed, that was 231 sessions over 172 hours. FNAP, these are series of lessons, so they're usually longer. So we have 14 youth groups in 6 to 8 lesson series, and our FNAP adults, that is our Eating Smart and Being Active program. Those are 9 lesson series, and we have 16 adults in Kenosha County who are in that program. And actually, a couple of those pictures up there of our adults doing food prep, and the one up there of them holding their graduation certificates, that's from our Eating Smart Being Active program. And we work with a variety of partners throughout Kenosha County to teach these lessons. So we go to our audiences and we teach on site, whether that be in a classroom, a community center, a senior center. A couple of highlights from this year. So we were in 30 Kenosha Head Start classrooms teaching a curriculum called Color Me Healthy. So it's exposing young children to different colors of fruits and vegetables and a rainbow of fruits and vegetables, and they get to try different colors throughout the series. We had 121 fourth graders in a series called Food Days. So that's kind of a whole foods versus more processed foods, and they learn more about food processing and how to make healthy choices. And it is kind of interesting because fourth graders have a lot of questions, and it's a fun series to teach. And so that's a really rewarding one to do. And then we also had monthly educational materials and quarterly education and recipes and pantries, incorporating the spice of the month into meals and incorporating healthy foods into meals. One notable thing that happened with our programming this year is SNAP-Ed over the summer was defunded in the budget reconciliation bill. So we are now 100% funded by FNAP going forward. This reduced our staff size significantly, and it's actually the reason that I'm now administrator of Kenosha. My area is now Waukesha, Milwaukee, Racine, and Kenosha counties. And I was just previously Waukesha before. So our scope statewide is now urban counties, so Dane, Rock, Racine, Kenosha, Milwaukee, and Waukesha counties, and we used to be with that SNAP-Ed funding statewide program. So narrower in scope, but we still have active funding in Kenosha County.
Thank you.
And we're done, but it is done. It is. So unless,
Any questions, anything for us? Is your battery running low on the top board?
Yeah, we use the arrow.
Yeah, I just asked if you have any questions.
Okay,
That's all.
all right.
So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And thank you for your patience.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Appreciate
And thank you for
staying.
your presentation.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very good. Keep up the good work.
Thank you, thank you.
Yes, 12 minutes, or is there, do you have
The educator reports, of course, are,
Yes, we got.
but we do have, Camille, because we had the attendance taken for YIG, so she does have that handout. But if the committee's okay, if the other educators could leave due to the time, they're not involved in YIG, so
That was.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, you guys can go too.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that?
I have to leave, that's fine. And then Camille, go ahead and distribute attendance, and if you want to come closer and.
We don't bite much.
Men, cheese, we have gone here too. Biden and bone, they both serve that.
See, that, you know what, I was like that, and they're like, I was playing with the 6 morning, so I was up, you know, so I was like, so.
Yeah.
I'm well past your bedtime.
Literally morning to.
Did Carolyn leave her phone or is that your?
I'm right here.
Oh my goodness, I don't see it. Look at that. I was gonna run into you. I'm like.
You want me helping tonight? Sorry, Robertson, I was gonna ask. Neil, did she respond?
Yeah, you probably love it.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Did she respond?
Yes, she did.
No, okay. I have a naughty person. Well, she showed up, she did show up on past
I
time.
would.
She's just back, like, she's. One of the times she was gone, or it was summer when she was there, she had gone to visit family in Mexico.
Oh, that's all good.
Didn't
I'm used to it.
communicate. Okay, well then, I think this is January.
I would like to start with the Yang interview panel updates first, before getting to attendance. So we did receive 34 applications as of today. If they're postmarked by Friday and they come in late, we know how the mail system has been. So I will make sure to forward that to our volunteers for the interview panel. Thank you again for your time. But yeah, 34 is really great. I will want to highlight that we received applications from 4 schools that we didn't last year. So those include Christian Life, Indian Trail, K-Tech, and Wilmot. So yes, so that is Wilmot Union. Yeah. So that's really exciting. So I'm glad we are getting.
Yes, we have a high school out at the west end.
No, actually, we have two.
Well done.
Yes, thank you to all your guys' support as well. It's truly a team effort. But yeah, I also wanted to highlight that we have 4 returning YIG member applications. So they were juniors applying for a second term, which is also fabulous. Olivia, were you interested in serving informally on the committee still, or did you just want to do your interview?
I think just my interview fine, but I'm not gonna give any input or like anything.
You would probably still be able to give info, but like not for anything. Yeah. Understand. Yeah, scoring is the most important part, so understood. So I invited, since our PDX members aren't available, I invited Ethan and Timothy. They've been involved in various ways with the board, so they both accepted. So they'll be joining us on the interview panel. For scheduling, I was wondering if we could maybe adjust the times a little bit, since we have so many applications. It would be nice to have a few more interview slots available. However, I'm anticipating several youth to not be able to attend due to spring break for West Osha, Christian Life, and Wilmot Union. I'm just expecting youth to be out of town. And there's also like major athletic events going on, I guess. So some youth have already reached out to me. But I was gonna propose maybe 30 interview slots and a time frame of 3:30 to 6, Wednesday and Friday. I have put in the letter, if youth could sign up for like earlier time slots as priority. But would you guys be available? And I'll have to check with Supervisor Meadows.
Well, we already had.
We had 4 to 6 for Wednesday.
And 3:30 to 5:30, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm asking to bump them up a little sooner, on Wednesday and extend it on Friday.
Friday would be a problem for me to extend it.
Camille, in the past, when we had more applicants, you, or you're, actually, you two, both of you, your positions. Pre-screened that and took it down to 24. So is that something you wanted to do? And then, or is that too late for that?
I haven't sent out any communication to you. I was just anticipating logistical issues to come up, so that's why I'm hesitant to not send out invitations. The other solution could be like first come, first serve for interview spots, but if we don't have enough, then that could cause some issues. So if we did want to narrow the pool, yeah, that's something we could consider, but I do anticipate a lot of youth not being able to make it. Like, I think last year we had 32 and like 6 not come or something. So.
Did they sign up and not come, or did they not?
Yeah.
Sitting.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think the youth said they could come at the soonest 3:30. Because, yeah. That's the earliest we can do.
How long is it water? Is it 30 minutes?
It's 10-minute interview.
10 minutes?
Yeah.
So you're,
I know I was there.
Yeah.
just, it was a year ago.
Yeah.
So you're saying 3:30 to 6 on the 25th?
Yeah, but.
Which, and you, could you do 3:30?
On the 25th, yeah.
Okay, but we need to stick to 5:30 on Friday, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
How many applicants did you have?
34.
Did applications close?
Yeah, they closed down Friday. Yeah.
Are you making me look at? Are you like narrowing that?
Yeah, I feel like that's what we're trying to discuss. Do you guys have any, like, recommendations? What do you think?
I mean, I feel like we could narrow it down.
Can you speak a little louder?
Since someone took our mic.
Mike's away.
It's gonna be like obvious who is really interested and who's not that interested in this, so I feel like you could probably have done at least a few people from just looking through.
How many committees?
7.
With joint services?
What was that?
With joint services?
Yeah, but executive is the one. So
Used to be executive powers.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So 16.
Yeah, I mean, right.
Plus 2 alternatives.
Yeah.
So 14.
No,
No?
14 plus 2 alternatives.
Okay, so 16. We do 24. That would be 12 a night, so that'd be
2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be time in between.
No.
Get out of here, send the next one in.
Pretty much it. Okay, you got.
They actually were pretty good.
It was hard enough to get us together on 2.
Yeah, all have to go together.
Yeah, I was like, there's actually only 2 days everyone was available.
About the virtual.
I think we would go back to the availability. Interview panel.
Yeah, that didn't work in the past.
So, but you already had one person who's out, or are you counting that person?
I'm counting that person.
Okay. Because there's one person who couldn't make either interview. She offered him a virtual interview option and.
Tentatively, yeah.
That was something, no.
Yeah.
And that person's in the 34 right now, so there's 33, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was a few who said athletic events and stuff, but I'm not sure who else is an athlete and stuff like that, so.
Could we do
Spring break.
3:30 to 5:30 on both nights and then schedule to have 24 total?
Yeah, yeah.
Does that work for you?
Yeah.
Do you want to find out, does that work, not work for you? I see that face to me.
No, that works.
Are you sure?
We did 3:30 to 6 on Wednesday. And then 3:30 to 5:30.
That's too much time,
Gotcha.
because 2 hours each night would work. if you whittled it down to 24.
If we did 24, but if we did 27, we could do 3 extra applicants Wednesday night. I think last year we did 2.5 hour blocks because it was 5:30 to 8.
I don't.
Yeah, it was 5:30 to 8.
Sounds like she's hesitant to put them on.
I can already whittle down one in here, so.
I haven't got mine yet, so.
Okay,
Oh,
I could whittle it.
practice.
I could, I think the maximum in the handbook is 25.
So I think that.
So we could do 3:30 to 5:40 Wednesday, maybe, and then.
Cause that will add one more. Or that'll be 25. Yeah, let's do that. Cause that, as long as it works for Eric.
Yeah, it would just be about confirming the earlier time on Wednesday.
And then have them scheduled where we don't have breaks in time. Yeah. So we're not sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, because I was, but yeah, sounds good.
For that, and then should we get there like 15 minutes early?
Yeah.
Does that work for you?
That's
still?
ideal.
Okay.
I believe I'll have food options available too, so. Just put that out there.
So we're planning on 3:30 to 5:30 both nights, right?
For interview.
Yes. Yes.
I'll send an updated calendar.
As long as Eric can do it.
I'll do that first thing. Okay. Okay, cool. Thank you guys for talking this out with me. Okay, and then I think that was all I had in regards to the interview panel, so I was gonna transition to attendance, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the big sheet is the committee meeting and the county board meetings on the back. Here I have looked at all the data and compiled it. So as you can see, all youth are above 60% except one youth. Well, technically 2, but Timothy is an alternate, so he doesn't have those attendance requirements. So yes, Ruby is at 50% currently. It is expected for all youth to be at the 60% mark at the end of the month. I did reach out to her. I did hear back from her. She shared that she usually lives with her brothers, but in January and February, she lived with her mom for a little bit, so transportation was a bit of an issue. So from my understanding, she attended the march.
She didn't come to March.
And she
did come to county board at that point too.
In the March.
In the March,
Yes.
yeah, which puts her up to 55%.
Yes.
On the committees.
Yes, I did tell her that she was below the threshold. I said, would you be willing to go to other committee meetings to make up for it? Because that's something we had offered to you last year. And she said she was definitely interested in doing that. She likes being in the program. She is going to like boot camp in June. She has a leadership role with a school club that I work with at Bradford. She's a strong student. I think something we want to keep in mind is about retaining youth too. So I think since she's willing to go to extra committee meetings, I think she would only have to really go to one extra committee meeting if she goes to both of the meetings in April and May, since she went to the March one. So then that would put her, well, yeah, that would put her at like 8 out of 11 meetings, which would give her that 63% attendance rate. And that's only if like the human services get scheduled, otherwise she'll have to attend other committee meetings, which I can.
Well, human services is already scheduled for the 8th, Wednesday, the 8th.
I was gonna say week as
Election night.
because of election night, yeah, so
That's potentially already a conflict. I mean, if she's thinking, oh, I'm always supposed to go on Tuesdays, and now she's got a built-in reason to not go on a Wednesday, that's gonna be a problem.
Okay.
And I think the other problem is we're turning over, and you're gonna have this conversation with people who are brand new in May.
Right.
And
because
that's not.
there's no guarantee that these are all gonna be the people in May. Now, I mean, Ruby's mine. I've been trying to reach out to her. I've been, we've talked about this. You and I have had multiple conversations. I think that she's somebody who's she's gonna respond to you, because she's not responding to me. So, you know, like with that email that just went back and forth, you know, she came back to you, but she didn't copy me on it. I think she really needs, okay, you know, more of a step. All right, you're willing to go to these other meetings. That's great. Which one are you going to go to? Because I need to be sure to talk to, okay, you're gonna go to, Public Works. Well, who's the chair of Public Works? Then you're going to need to contact this person, and I'm going to be letting this person know that you're going to be contacting that person, but you need to contact that person by such and such. I mean, she needs some more breakdown of how to do the steps to show up. And I think if there's, I won't say it's not wiggle room, but if it gets too big for her, I think she needs her things broken down into some smaller steps of how to be successful is do this, do this, do this, as opposed to, yeah, I'm gonna go to one of these other meetings.
And then communicate back. I think that's a huge problem as well.
Yes, yeah.
I'm happy to work with her. I mean, like you said, she's been responding to me. I'll make sure to CC you on those communications I sent to her. And yeah, just to make sure to emphasize communication with the chairs of the other committees.
And I was gonna wait until after we have our meeting next week, our county board meeting, because I was gonna see, because I talked to them last time and they stayed for the county board meeting. And I was gonna wait till after next week to see kind of, did they show up? Because they had kind of both said, yeah, I'll be there. And I was like, good, we'll talk then. And then I'm gonna be going through that. Okay, we've got an election. Means this is gonna change. We've been talking about how to look at agendas because that's not always getting through. And anything that meets on a Tuesday, the first Tuesday of the month does get tricky when we have elections. So we had that in November. We had it again. No, we will have it again in April. So.
Sounds good.
And I will copy you on the letter I sent to remind them about that, but I'll just copy you so that they see that you're being included. I mean, when I normally send stuff to them, I'm not including you, but I'll include you on this next one so you know what's said.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, I just appreciate this communication and yeah, I mean, we're very close to the end of the year and she is still at a high threshold even though the communication's been lacking, like, it's not like she's at 30% or something, so. I definitely think she could cross the finish line, recognized for how she has participated. Speaking of elections, so I included the county board it's the green chart on the second page. All of you have attended at least one meeting so far, which is great. So it's just about making sure, they go to, the limited remainder of county board meetings.
There's only two, right?
I was gonna check in with you guys.
Oh, the last one counts in three.
Okay.
Wait.
Would that
No, they can't
That's
have the
May.
last one.
Wait, is that in May?
3-3.
Yeah, the one in May is.
Okay, so March, April, May.
So,
there's
yes,
four.
3-3-8, 3-17, 4-8, and then
21.
4.
It's the 21 D.
But the 21 is the one that,
Okay.
Well, yeah, of April? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, but they can still watch
Oh,
it.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm thinking. If you're, it'd be great. See, is that? At what meeting will the chair be determined?
That's the
one?
second, that one.
That one.
Well, no,
Because I thought they chair and then they do.
there's 3 left.
No, because it goes through May.
Yeah.
Your term goes
Yeah.
through May.
March. More in March.
Yeah.
One in April, one in May. Yeah, 4.
Yeah, but the last one, the last county board meeting doesn't count for their thing.
So they got
So you've got
three
3 more.
3 more?
And the chair's determined when?
4 but 3.
It's the 21st of.
Because that last one doesn't count.
Would the remote work?
Yeah, they can
Yeah,
go
that's the-
watch that. Yeah, that would be a really interesting meeting.
It's the same as, just the same as regular draft work.
All of our meetings are interesting. With you sitting one person away from me, it's always interesting. I can hear the eye roll.
That sounds good. I might, reach out to Amanda then, just to get that updated county board attendance from this past Tuesday. And then hopefully send these emails out by Monday, so the kids, the youth members know what.
Is Timothy getting the same communication? Like, I know he's not held to the same standard, but I would hate for him to miss it when we're like, oh, you're moving up because the other one, Rosa, what's her name? Ruby didn't make it, and then we're like, Timothy didn't make it either after all was done. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So make sure that he's being communicated with to say, you know, regular gig have to do this. You should consider maintaining that same standard.
Sounds good. Yeah, I do, but the alternates on the communication I do with each big member and in group communications. But I could, make sure.
I think there was some, not miscommunication, but a misunderstanding. I think Timothy thought he was on finance and administration.
I thought he was on finance, because that's where,
He's see that.
He's
But I-
not,
So watch,
but it's not miscommunication. It's, he wanted to come, so I said, sure. Come.
so watch, if you want to check what meetings he went to for finance also, because there was some sort of lack of clear communication.
I think if you look here, it says 8/19 and 9/11, but I'm not sure if it's been updated since.
But are those included in his percentage?
No.
In his percentage?
No, there's.
So with those meetings, because he was like, he started late even.
He didn't start
He
on
didn't
time.
start at the same time, so he started late. He's only got 7 meetings. But there was a miscommunication, so I would say add his finance administration as if he was on that committee, because there was some.
He should make us a credit.
Okay, so, I'm just not sure how I would calculate his attendance rate then, because I'm not sure.
Savannah.
Yeah, but he is listed on finance administration.
Terry, okay, so then what's the other committee he is on?
Public Works.
Oh, okay, so Public Works is the one you have to check.
That's what she did.
But he's over here too.
Right, but she didn't include those meetings in his
They would be
total.
bonuses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then he has attended like 6 county board meetings too, so.
Yeah.
He has
How
a
about
high,
as many as I have?
so he has a high.
You made more than that. What are you talking?
Special accommodations.
We've never done it before, so I think you could just invent some events.
Because I mean, look at what he's all done.
Yeah.
It'd be great to recognize him in May.
Yeah.
If you're.
Yeah.
I don't have, I don't have a problem with it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if he took it really like lackadaisical and didn't show up to things, then, but he's really involved, yeah.
Yeah.
Should.
So how would you guys like to second consistent? Like,
Well, just like a regular one.
Yeah, like
Just
give him
before
a
regular, you don't need to tell him that ahead of time.
well, alternates do get certificates,
Oh, good.
like for alternates.
Yeah, but normally alternates
Ended up moving up.
ended up moving as into the actual gig position. Or they didn't attend any meetings because they were an alternate, they were waiting for a spot to open up. Well,
Right.
so he's been different than the average alternate.
Would you guys like to come up with a title?
No, I would
Just call me a.
Yeah.
Just a gig
Call
member.
Just treat them like all the other.
Verify that with the chair.
Okay,
That's good.
what Chairman Yuha? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Because she appoints them, we don't, she,
True.
yeah.
You're right.
Okay.
I can't imagine she'd be like,
No. We recommend
Yeah.
that the chair. You can tell her,
Formally and.
yes, you can tell her that the committee recommends.
And then refer to her judgment.
Yeah.
And then if she disagrees with us, we will question her judgment. Just kidding. I'm getting
I was gonna
punchy.
say I'd talk to her, but forget it now. I don't wanna have that conversation with her.
Can I go to bed?
But yeah, that's all I had for tonight, so
Okay.
thank you guys, I appreciate it. And then I guess I'll let you know what you don't make it to the app.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we'll just tell us so we can pull them and not waste our time.
Sounds good. Yeah, hopefully I do that by Friday. I have some work I need tomorrow, so, but Monday works case.
Did you include returning
Yes, there,
forms? There are.
returning forms?
Yes, there's a separate application or a separate one of these for returning kids. Youth. I sent it to you last year, so check your email.
Okay, and it's just the
The questions are different because you can't ask them, you know, because they know what gig is.
for the.
Yes, for the interview. And it says like returning gig or something like that in black. Yeah.
I'll look through my emails.
Yes.
I'll probably do that tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
Alright.
Yeah.
That's, Mel, you're done with us?
Yeah.
All right.
Move to adjourn?
No. Andy's shaking his head like.
I have to minutes worth.
Agenda?
So, second.
I have a motion from Gertson and a second from Julia.
Pick one.
Yeah,
Oh, you're the
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Any opposed? I'm abstaining, I was there. Citizen comments, any citizens? No, okay. Yeah,
So, one, we will not have a meeting in April, which would have been your last one. So this is your last one.
Oh.
Surprise.
Ended on a high note, huh?
Yeah.
We got 3 or 4 meetings, we got a whole year worth of meetings in one.
Whatever ends up happening, and maybe we have some items, things, but really, I guess we want to thank you all for being on our committee for the last 2 years. Who will be back, we don't know. That's always, you know, a mystery. But I want to thank you for serving on our committee and learning and being hard, working through the processes, you know, that this is, and being thorough and diligent. I mean, just because, I mean, that was needed, and I think it was evident, and want to thank you for that.
I think you want to thank me for being such an awesome chair.
That goes without saying.
That's implied.
I would like to thank Aaron Decker for, seriously, this nudging me, always having my back 100%, because quite honestly, I think everyone's afraid of Aaron. And so that she was really there and supportive. I want everyone to know that.
That's very cool.
Thank you.
You know, I had that when I was chair.
Well,
So it's been there for a while.
you have been a godsend. You really have been. I appreciate your willingness to step up, to help me, to, you know, direct me when I'm off base. I really do appreciate it. Thank you.
And the ones to draw, to make a motion.
Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah.
No messing around, man.
Yeah. All right, so motion.
Motion to adjourn?
Second. Get it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.